Voisuna a Kunpangdanding order of program a Tarlangate. Host Klangwal Kamro Sang Bushel Len Vivian Kim Kenikanya. Opening song O Hmar the Saketa, an opening prayer, Pastor Ladit Sakin Bonanto. Soon welcome address, Klangwal Samuel Khobung, President, HSA Joint Headquarters, Delhi, Yanto. Umata, soon opening keynote address, Udar Sotang Khobung, Advisor, HSA Joint Headquarters, Delhi. Soon resource person, Dr. Abigail, Lalnuneng, Aintokin, Ngai Klang Eta, soon resource person, Dr. Vanthangpui Khobung Aintokin, Ngai Klapoita. Suzawa refreshment break, Dar Hilati, Vela Umata. Soon, a resource person, Dr. Elizabeth Songate and Ngai Kanoketa. Suzawa interactive session, Q&A session, in Göttingen. Soon, closing end note speaker, Hmar Sociocultural, Advisor, HSA Joint Headquarters, Delhi, Aintok. Umata, Vote of Thanks, Nuhab Jubilal Ramoy, General Secretary, HSA Joint Headquarters, Delhi, Aintok. Ingat club Göttingen. So the top taka closing song HSA anthem Zaleng Tanlong ti Saketa and closing prayer Pastor Lalsi Sang Zote only Göttingen. So hai sabay sunay program na. Soon announcement sim numa tulahin stall in Chutanya Hmar organic tea send one product na first aid box in Göttingen from haya lasang din na hingin ani sun zunin toilet ka may pasaloman may hay sa hi kotkar ay suksen kasangting hindi ngata sun ay su luksuka left side waiting in anything ani so support ni sina
Tuhin the opening song O Hmar the isang na din kami chuding in Nuhalan sa Himlet ang Balkamo sa Himlet.
Duhin opening prayer Pastor Lalnuneng sa Khobung. Ehiko ni Rose.
Trong trai kan lalpa le kan pakhen noi le van sem tu bong e kan ko kam jong sok tu kan pi le pu hai hen o na chang che khaman lo khet no thing bul long bul hai lo be ka amiro su lalpa ilungin set na le ngung ga dok veng venga nang ma chan chin thazarin ao bi hai kan nung ne ya thiem hai zir thein delhi monat chen hi voisun kom symposium hai nei thei ding Hmar Student Association Delhi halak nei kun chai mem bot sai pe ka heng hai po po are ma kan khir hin ro puina choi moina le lom thu iko ma kan hot lan che kan thei hin der ma che voisun ni kan program hi kan chan abul alai to chen i tharau thieng rin mi thoi ham ding chen kan nge cha kan resource person hai an reng in thang puila ke ni midang lama lom me khai dam lungri le dil su takan lalpa i seminarin tho hin kan lungril kan ngai to na idit dan lampui e mani pe in ter sok thedinga mi thang pui ding voisun kan program ikut theng ni makan plan che sandam tu isu krista ngi kan che amen
Duhin welcome address Lalnuneng Sangval Samuel Khobung, President HSA Joint Headquarters Delhi, affiliated.
In HSA Joint Headquarters Delhi mingin sibay kabuk sir. Unsot ta kain to ka elo mathir one day symposium to pathanga buina umloin thutlungin ei hang umta masan pathin kuma lom thu umsila hi hun ngai mingai poimo pe ka hi nulepa le student hai ehang puthea an hun poimo tak hai an thoi poimo tak hai maksanin bi hun lai hilai hun hi in hung mingai poimo pe ka hung theling kalom kalom lu cheo ne chun voi suna chang tu ding hai poi po ngai poimo taka in hung pe kan filna mingai poimo pe ken in hung sengling lom thu ka fil halin kalom lu chewa chun voi suna bi taka keynote speaker pu darsu thang khobung resource person hi Dr. Vanthangpui, assistant professor NCERT, Dr. Elizabeth Songate, country officer University of Göttingen Germany there, Dr. Abigail, assistant professor Delhi University le Keynote speaker pu malsom thang kevong IFS haituna lom thu country lin kan lom lu cheo ni poi suna program hi meeting in lok iseng ABC ni lome
Duhin opening keynote address Lalnuneng Budar Sultan Khobung, advisor HSA Joint Headquarters Delhi, affiliated.
voisun hun tha ei wa ei student leaders high fel ta katin ramno na sela ei sanvo pekin kai kalom leni amasan sen la speech le talk samani discourse ti hare ka him zong ni bek no amiro chu
ami hem le ahun ni sen la remro dan ai foi tu hai am sem na ko lo mong ka ti le a ka lom to tarin kam le sen la bosu na ai hun mang ai ham ki lu kan kalumrel keynote address ya keynote address na ding taka concept of thoughts le ideas hai popo ami hem danglam tok na pakatam oma in sungai ham hola ham du tola ham sunga la ai nam la ai ngai sa khan kalungrin popo ka how clap to that chu tu dai ju sakha ania ai voisuna ai ngai to dinga discourse ai nei na ding hai popo wa program in donga umsu identity le heritage ania kan redefining of the Hmar nationalism nam tham har lok na ki le chon political roadmap tia chun in to del na lampui atop taka alia amasa taka identity issue khan ai la sak le khan ami vok ma ene rin ka heta lungrel them bek begin ka hai mua asan chu tu da ai lai sak ha heng hin ati le o kan maram laman de ai ka o kan maram zotlang hring dum doi isunga mar kan le tiania ne hi chang khatna pakhatna hin originality soi dang lam ani la le exam hin identity crisis ai le ha ni ti hi lungri lam pek no la apoi hi ka ti le la son hi la no hom pa ai nam la ne ram mangai an thel bi le ka thin ti ka sentence le wordings kha tho kom khan la pekin ai uma tu ta thang thar ko vela kom kha ai tho tho bania originality ai suk bo ina ni number 1 originality ai suk bo sun why do we come and sit together here in la hilai na hum kom ai in kanna ai trouble ai ka ai zonga ai zeka discourse ai to la sadevin debate ha ai na ya atam kai na no ma ni ka mu da ani sulayen anram hi kan ro du ti a hi lapuk tu amma sahain zik le tim khai tu ma sahain an lo tho nam la moi em le hai voi su nai jok sakhan kalung ril po kai jo adam la mena fe bong ma la ne zo kirin la marbila sa ka za ko som sari le pasari kha ni nga ta karin da na so sulai hun su ka era ke kom na ti ka na sul kai ti to pro a ping lo ai la kam lam ni hi tu ta a hong ha na General Assembly HCSA uma Delia ai thoi tu lom la hai da ne Hmar chairman Hmar welfare so kat lo me ta pura assembly or mulai da General Secretary Anira Halaikan เนี่ยนุ่มมากันอันสินละปาร์มุอินตัวกันหัวข้องเปลือกกันเอ้ยอย่าช่วยคุยกันนี่กันอันเดียวให้กันเนี่ยข้อมูลอะไรเนี่ยกับนุ่มกันข้างลายหัวอันฟูอันมาน้ำรีไวเวลอันมินสังเกตนะหายจุเราลู่ตั้งแต่ลาเฮริเทจไอดีนิตี้ไอ้ไหนนะถ้าทุ่มไม่ตัดกันพวกไอ้ค่ะซอยจังลำนั้นชักเราอาหุ่นไปอ่ะสร้างขันสักกูสอมเรศอาหุ่นกายอ่ะสอมกูอาหุ่นกายโลกาคุณสร้างเรื่องหุ่นกายอ่ะที่ตะกันหินบ่อยน่าอีตัวกันหินตัวหินที่หินโทตะชักเราหินไอ้ชื่อเส organize อันโลเล่พอดล่างที่หัวไปถอยแรงความไอ้นำลา originality ค่ะเดี๋ยวเบรกอินเมียนเตนิตาตัวชู identity protection ประกันนะอันนี้ตีค่ะอามาสักนิดก็จะขึ้นโนมาตัวชูโทรห้ามิลลาตีที่เรื่องระบบrevise edition อินสุดท้ายกันเราสุดดังละมาสิ่งละoriginality กันฟิลโนไว้ตาข้างกันไอ้เราไอ้ซีเรียมหายอินสักเหตุอะไรที่ตีจูอามาสักนิดก็จะขึ้นน่าเลยก็จะ address โน้มน่านี่เสียงละกันน้องเด็กเรื่องไอ้นี่ลายไอ้เชื่อเสียตีง่ายสอดตัดมิลล์ช่วยตัดที่ตัวตา secretary หน่วยจุดที่ป้าผู้รับเทลิวาร์เต้ไอ้ดาม culture และ traditional value CMM มันน่ะอันนี้หุ่นลายขัดเจนกันสู้เฮงละสุดดังลำที่ไอ้เรื่องไอ้ไม่เนาะไอ้ริมเนาะนี่เราจะที่นุ่งหุ่นลักไปยาเนี่ยฟังทาร์โคเวลไอ้หุ่นปริทุกไปยาcultural values ไอ้เมนเอเนตีไลซิงอ่ะตัวตาทุเรศลักตะการมีไอ้สองเดียวอาหุ่นจังนี่นั่นละอาไปเด็กๆกันเลยจู่ๆทุกอย่างมีเสียงละidentity ไอ้ริลภาพอะไรไอ้ตรงบุญไอ้อินจังนาค่ะที่เราให้เราเนี่ยตั้มกินไอ้เสตาตั้มตะกินตรงอินทาสวาคีอันนี้ที่เสตาไอ้จันทร์เจ็ดตัวมาสาผู้ร่างเลยสมัติไฮแลนด์จนอัน address นั่นอัลลัตโลอาบเบลที่ให้ดามันเบสันตัวมาไม่รู้ยังไงso valid argument อาสิ่งนั้นที่ดามมุสลิมส่วนมิโซรัมเดซ่าสุยตูปอลไฮซุนประคัตสมุนไพรสุยบินไทยเนาะอาสันซูประคัตโง่ยังอินสุยภาพันเลยไอ้อินสอร์จินเดียวว่าบอยนาไอ้identity ไอ้อินซองน่ะหินบอยนาอันนั้นเลย literature อินสุเอาสักโน่นะเอาอินเลยมันยังซองอันสินะไซโนทิเบโต Chinese อันนั้นเลยไซโนทิเบโตโนยาอินจังไอ้นี่จุดที่อินอันนี้สุยอินทุกตะโกนให้อันมีสิ่งเอกดานั่นเนี่ยจู่ๆถ้าเกิดส่วนบาร์มาให้กับโฮมของมันอาสามีให้กับโฮมของมันส่วน notice ปุ้ยเอาโฮมของมันที่ข้าอันเสียดานั่นเนี่ยอันสู้ดานั่นเนี่ยส่วนนี่จู่ๆเฟไปยินนาก็ให้เตียงเลยจีนคุกี้มิโซตีกรุ๊ปกันอาหุ่นเชฟกันเนาะขณะองค์สอดจีนเดี๋ยวจะว่าตัวตาอัตรงมังกรให้ตัดไอ้หุ่นสุดมันนี่ตาแต่สุดท้ายสุดมาอาศัยอะไรบุญเดี๋ยวว่าสุยพอเลยเนาะมันมาซีดอย่างกันมันมาซีนมีปัญหาอัตลาสัมตงมาเทว่าสัมตงเดสมามุเทว่าสัมตงที่ค่ะไอ้นี่จุดนุ่งเองสัมตงรูปามีไอ้นี่ที่ค่ะไอ้นี่ที่ตานั่นนี่นกไปอ่ะกันสวยด้านหายแต่ส่วนซาน ตีไฮโกลรำตีไฮส่วนมังตีไฮไอ้หุ่นเสียตาเนี่ยนกไปอ่ะส่วนสุราตีไฮผมไอ้เนี่ยสุราสุไอ้นี่ข้าตา monopoly เดี๋ยวว่าไอ้ historical base อ่ะไอ้สิอันนี้ส่วนน้องอ่ะสุราส่วนไหนนกเสียไปที่หันเก่งลำอันเดียสุราอันเดียรู้สึกดูเลยตรงของไอ้แต่ส่วนไอ้ส่วน in sort จีนนั่นเลย identity in สองไหนเลย redefining ที่นั่นสักการช่างทรายไอ้ทอดชัดจุลันไอ้ in sort ด่านนี้ไอ้เฟดด่านนี้ตัวตายเฟดด่านไอ้สูดด่านนี้อันนี้ก็อันนี้ส่วนเฟไปไอ้ตาหาดเดินสู้เฟไอ้เฟไปนั่นดิ่งลำพูด population อาหุ่นนี่นอกา population สู้ตัวเห็นมาตรงมังตักตัวตายนี่มาตรงมังตักไอ้ตีให้ไอ้เอ็นนอกส่วนเอ็นซาไปอยู่มาลักขัดเข้ามาอยู่นอนอามีโรคสู้ที่ว่ามันมาเสียนตัวก็ไอ้สุยาไอ้เฟไปจนอาอมโปตะกะอินลังน้ำตัวตาชิมกุกีมิจวาอินเฟรันนามาร์กรุ๊ปที่มันมาแล้วช่างไอ้ง่ายดานสิลดานาอาเฟดานาส่วนปูริบเรนเซอร์ฟูซีกันเห็นอาฟังคิมตัดอันละนะน้ำสองทุ่มปฐุมก็น้ำสองทุ่มปฐุมอายุมันจุดอันเล่นตะกันหกเจ้าตะกันผู้รังเล่นไฮเจกมาเลยที่ผู้เดินไฮถึงหน้าที่ไฮให้ไม่ถึงไฮอันถึงหน้ากันจุดจะจะหงนอนสองทุ่มปฐุมมาเห็นเคียงที่ไฮเซนอาหงประมาณนี้ส่วนตัวตาตรงมาตรงมังไฮเห็นละที่หังดับตะกันเห็นละคิมคุณเองทริปุระเองไอ้เฟสส่วนตัวตาไอ้จงเสียหิจอันนี้ตั้งว่าอเมริกาสองทุ่มปฐุมกรุ๊ปเห็นมันมาเสนาว่าไอ้นี่สูรบิงไอ้เรื่องไอ้ชูตัวตาไอ้จงมั่งตัดหิมาจงมั่งตัดหิจูไอ้ลองบีตาอะไรงาอินเดอร์ก็ดิเซลานั่งสองทุ่มปฐุมมาสุดดิเซลาโน้ยนี่ว่าไม่สิ่งนี้ปริมดานะส่วนฮีฮาฮีอะไรของดานไอ้ identity ตัวตา identity ไอ้หนุ่มสองนายเห็นไอ้เกี่ยวของไทยดิ้งฮีฮาตาม discourse มาที่งานดิ้งไปดิเซลาตัวตาไอ้ resource ให้อันมีเฟย์ไปตุ่มดานอันมีฟอยตุ่มดานนี้นักเรียนผมสื่อสารไปนี่ก็ตามมาแล้วผมสื่อไปนี่ก็ตามส่วนมาตรงมั่งตักตัวตาไอ้ตรงไว้สู้นะไอ้ตรงมั่งตักรูปหินเอ็นหลอกเอ็นละโจเตสู้หังชักละว่ามันเนี่ยเช็คคอมหังชักละว่าอันนั้นสู้ตรงเช็คตรงอินสูมามังคัตมาตามอยู่มันส่วนไอ้ละเหตุง่ายชักเราเดลีเซเวเดลีเลเวล่ะคอมนิเซนล่ะสุรสานปูเรสคอมนิเซนล่ะไอ้ละเหตุง่ายชักเราอันไอ้ที่สองเลยสุดไฟเฟมให้คอมมินตรงอันละเนี่ยข้าจะเดี๋ยวโหเชนคัดก็ได้ไฟเฟมตรงอันละมั้งส่วนบีเตไอ้ที่นกบีเตสุดอาหารเอ็นจู separate identity กันอินเมนเทนต์อันมีที่เปก้าอามีโรคสุดสมลีสมงาไอ้เฟกิร์สุดมา nationalism ทุกท่านไปสู้นะไอ้ท็อปิกปะกาตาidentity จะมา nationalism reinventing of mar nationalism ที่อาคันไอ้ฟินามันไอ้เฟไอ้หุ่นโศกดันไอ้หุ่นเอาดีที่ให้เลยก็ต้องถึงขอบตรงนั้นมาร์ nationalism ตัวตามาตรงมังหายตักิน nationalism ไอ้หุ่นบ่อยน่ะที่กุมมันไอ้ที่ไล่มันไอ้ที่เฟ fake lo thei lo ania mizo union kha akha em ma ai bai sai na po po su unao tha do trong mang ku tha do ku kin lo le apang e trong bai ta trong mang ti hai ga ta trong mang ti hai kha pum be be no se la ko ma trong mang hai kan su 100% nei mizo union a hong pe kan sang ga ko som li bor be kan ami rok su mizo union kha Lusai Autonomous District Council ti Mizoram te ngami hai kan sarkari nom te kan Mizo Union Phratna Lakipur Assam te Kachar te ko le Manipur Marbet te ko ahum kanoi to atla mo na san chu Mizo Union choi tu lulok Dr. Rausiama Lakipur ni le HK Boy Swaka Hmar Khobung Lakipur mi Mizoram mi ni lawan lai kan kha choi tu ding sarkar na an sem ding khan sarkar na administration an sem ding khan ko lu tin an ma an ni kam him masa khan ni si an mamo si amizoram suma ni sarkar na le khan ai mi wa ne pui moon pui ala ang khan ti dingan Mizo Union tempo po no le apek drol bo tu po kha an thot ang nan la ta so lai chen ai ni chu atla fal ang ai uma in ngai na ka ta Hmar National Congress kha zo chal khan le ale khup na ding ya an no le lung oi no na in ter na no le Hmar chu kai di kan lo ban no Mizo Union ne mi ho no chu kai di kan lo ban no Hmar ya lung oi no na in address na man in la a om thawa amirok chu Hmar nationalist in revive na kha ahum sok tam na ni nan la sa da ko som thum sam khat zapo som li le pare ti khelte ka ani an tin chong na par bunga khom puro suma royan nia sutaka hi tinga bi mi kai su thom na choi tu masatak su marnes Mizo Union na kok talai na chapter Hmar National Congress tiong pe na uze dum oi choi tu masatak president secretary thienga nampui bi te pan su chulai huna sun bi te su ahani nan chak no ne ti ka kai lo le se tum se no dinga ka thul tum na ne so la yen ne bi te tu hin ahana ta hai ki ing la ya ai tiramana ai ni dik no ni tu ta ma to ma ni no ni ti an lo le na ke hu sot pa ya fe sen la fa hem tong ma ngai khom chu an mi la mak san din chik tong ma ngai po dan mi la mak san din ti hai khom kha ni apoi mo ngai to la an se men la ti mo hong de re ka chu trong thua ai khai khom tum na le trong thua fi de ngai nei na hi ang sui zao de la ang hom le de la ti no na o ma chun tham som thum pathum ai ti a nam som thum pathum a hin atam lem chu nam som par ti vel hi ma trong ti tu tai trong ti mang ni ta lo unao so pui dia in identify na marble mar origin rung le vai so ti pa pa le an lu po kenga ma la tripura hin nam som par ai man unao so pui ai ti chun an hum ma ding mar ai ti chun an hum no ding ti kha an no ka chu lai chun hilai khomi a discourse an no le a fe da ni anga mana ti hi na sataka reinventing ai thor that do ngai ta son Manipur context ani se la nam som ai hing dim hi wa man masina vai ko basuya ne mar na tla ka ai lan thit ko vai ai mon siru ti hai so the ti hai po wa mi le in te ko pin som ai hing dim Manipur hi chu lai kai khom i nga mana aril mu mana ai fe pui da ling te kom ni ngai to nai thuk tak ke angai ya ni ti he thai la no mong de re kan chân mar tu ta ai tia hin mar trong mang ai tia hin na ke le tu ta in to ka nung tin suin zali vel kha san ai lu na ne da edi zali vel ka san ai lu na ne tia zali zanga zaru za sare za ko tin sa ka untinga sa ka zakat zatin ta thoma ni u ka sa za sare sa ka zare sa ka za ko sa mu ya hona la fe no pain la hi tin a khel te ma mi he mai lan la so no pain sun tu ta ma trong ai ti hin ami kai khom zo hi ano le hi ta ka hin in sor bin ka di mani ti hai kha ai ngai ko na de ai si din no ma o ma san unao so puya hin ai chi ma mai ni ano le so pui ai ti unao so pui ti a tul hai nei ngai ka no ti hi ni no ka ta civilizing a hin Manipur context sa khilin la mai tai hai mi do na mai tai ra le nei hin unao so pui ari le na mar tong mang re wa ta in suk det hin consideration ai tho hin ari le na apoi mo am ti kha ngai to na dam ni no ka ta chan ne unao so pui hi ai fe pui ding ani chana no le unao so pui hi mar identity an no an le mar khela barne ka nomenclature le mizo ti hai kom ai khela mizowa ai classify bong ding aniam ti ding ni sin la ing aminam ai ni hi akal check a bridge mending bridge an no le ne akai khom tu la ya apan poi mo ai ni thaina ding e ma uma ti kha ni no ka ta hilaya poi mo tak pakha ta chu mar as a nation mar as a community anole mar as a tribe khom lo ni sin la ein suk de ding ani him sun bule balen to na angai no ka ei resource hai topic boka bule balen to na ding a hin mar trong mang hai lo hau sak na bul kha kola mana ti kha khi ta ngai no ka ni mar trong mang hai lo in to na no le ei literature po lo in thum ru na no le lo par sok na kha kola mana ai te chu mar Manipur Margel, Mizoram Margel, son Assam Margel Kachar, son Assam Margel NC Hill tenga mi aninoka. Hilai hai en hin tu sa ai la moi hai po thang hui hai thang thar hai ta dinga mi lo pe na hai ya ni a ala thu le la re wa hausa in la ko bu le ba le to der na ni chung en ai ni no chung je no ding ania so la yen ami masa tu ta le khaje thatak tak mi ma san te tu hai po interna ai mu da ai an da no chu lo thai lo wa ai zone base ni sin la lu sai trong kha atam tak mang ani lai el tu le hai ko ma lo mang na sa ami ro chu ania mar nam trong mar trong mang na lung ril kha in pai per na la lai an ter ding buthang nguren lu sai trong la ko ka mar trong la ko ro ti tu chu pu ai ske do nu na ani na kan tha ai te song na khan le sirbide ai nei na chu aizol base khom ya la hil thai ani te chon thu le la ayu mau sak nok na in chan nok na mi le khom nok na tu chu mar bel la ya rong bol tu hai po le ngamen boy tu hai po misak sok ek na hi ai nam a hinga ni ti ania son hau sak na po tak sak na hau sak na po ko marbel man Abigail manipur marbel hi ayin chon na alo ni pakhat na su ipai mu bazar riverine bazar ti kha sa ko somre le sakhat zaret som sari le pakni violin first lusai expedition ti kha khovel damhai le ain matna pakhat voi khata khania so zawa second British second lusai expedition ti ha ya wala khata kai ko khan bazar center ti kha British colony khan unmi recognized pe pa pipai mu khan lo man khata ka do kan trading center ai chana si anung porluta in ma sun si ai pi le wine si an musuk thak no ne o ke ka het chena kom khan si aya ai bang i mane vut ang le an bang ka chong su ne ai hitaka ai ni si ne rai kom thei kan ta si hi ai ni locally made kha ai lo sem ka kan ana ta tu ta sol si ai mang ta ki anung porluta ke pai mu anung porluma vai sum dome British High ni se pengla trading center ke pai mu sutaka ta sum commodity exchange ai thot taka ke pai mu trading center ani lai khan suktabel ki teng barmate nga mi hai ni sen la son manipur sim thang po ni sen la trading center poi mo takania marbel kha avun lut ani in ba kan san hon tlai level ba ka hon tlai hai kan an thoa na sakate ne trading kha riverine system aum lai kan advantage kami tam tak ne ke tlang mi tam tak ne khan ai hau ta lai tu ta ai hau tu masahai amin ko tai ta hi Elizabeth Songate apa u lai lo reverend case thang lai lo tai dam ser thum house sak na le ka the man chu khela mar dictionary sem tu pa ti ke bong pu ye ti hai da ser thum house sak na Silong Don Bosco akula ka kai thai na kan tu ser thum house sak hon tlai lo tlai ai pek so hai po in zor song na dingin ti pai muk trade center kha alani ngat ani ai kam kai pu na British expedition an in Lusai expedition an kan ai kam kai pu ngata tu sen kom hen ai kam kai pu la ami rok su ai kam kai pu dan ai mang da na hi alleven e ma mana road transport surface road system le boru ka bong na ai mang ron ta lai riverine system ai mang thoma ai mang thong ka fu lai ai mang na sa tha lai ai mang thoma ami rok su ai bu phui in sak no na alani sing ne Abigail Manipur pha be lai ta ding ti ni rok barakri variety ani a so khela khuting ka char den po tang kai pui na ani a son marble trading center a na hi tu hin mai te ra len la ya bolai to hin a hong lu nok na ding lo thai la bin ei di ta mai din no a hong lu nok na ding lo thai la bin ne lampui ayang ena hegen mitlain riro sana ongoma surface road uisin na son riverine system inland waterway system nationalized lawless la son kiltanga surface road tha hum sen la helipad service chopra service ti hai air system hum sen la to chon chu parvul chok ling ตีค่ะลิมฟลาไอมีมาสาช่วยตัวเองโอกันมาอินทิ้งกลางดุมเฮียอันเราพบนาดรีมค่ะอาหงส่งเราเรื่องอะไรที่อาศัยแก่เมียมาจะสู้เคล่ะassam marvel mizoram marvel le tripura te marvel tripura te lam so direct nahi kone ba heng ha ya hen economic advantage ai sem thaina degen nasata ka ni changthar hai mai la ka sarkar thara na imang the mane so ai namin pe form na so Ilek in anasano zol dengan itu, asalnya ada mah sesuatu like keynote address ini sih lakom dua ambil so malam kela kau tu mana sih lah, kalau mereka son HSE moto sinin filin sanin serve the nation ini economic boulevard songkuat intodel na ai bupa phatan le ai sampha phatan le hine serving the nation ti hine ka na sai ai tho thai chau ding ni ai tho no ti na le do ai tho thai chau ding ni ti si ne me mani serving the nation serve the nation ti ai phoi ko ma sa na lo ko amol de be kala serve the nation we the Hmar nation tin la step ai nei khel khara mai non trong ai nei ya son community nei uma share culture ai nei ya share tradition ai nei ya tulain we the Hmar as a nation ti in ai fe pu thayani te martin from sing te ban lama state ai lo nei ani sun la ti te huna ai wang nei ni ngata to so ni no khoma serve the nation ti takahi ai umnai che na India ra serving ai tho ani boka amoy memela so la yen serve the nation ai se thupui ai keynote address ata khel nom na athu so nom na so serve the nation mar tradition mar identity value ai peklising ai choi moilizing ai naram India ram bulebal in tawdel na nasana mo ai ta so son nasada ke serving ai thono dinga le anno le changthar no pai dinga an tho dinga le ti hi sing em madam ti no an di em bok lai to so kana so lom thorin manก็ทุกคนตอบแต่เราสัญญาตลอดเลย
โลมองตู้หินไอโปรแกรมอาหารทิ้งให้เฟนอกไปตาไอเซมินาร์ด็อกหาที่ไอจันตักมาอินไอจันตัดดิ้งนะไอจันตักมาอินตู้หินไอ resource person หาไอ felicitate ดิ้งนะ Students in a president, Thangba Samuel, general secretary, Nuha Zubilian Fila, student a resource person, Dr. Vanthangpui, Dr. Abigail, Dr. Elizabeth Songate, high stage at Nuhkai Pek, Khobung Feel here. program hatin hay fenok ta I cover hin nam tin hin I namin ti nasan I amikai form 2 or a spirit at around hi nea nam hay ping na ding sun hin mi pui hin I amisim 2 or a component amikai form 2 hay along 2 la ni omani so ang tak sun ay ni Hmar hai kom hi I amikai form 2 ti hi Lalnuneng vea a sun no history tam tak kom a nei zu context le zu is zu hey en zun Hmar nationalism ti tak hit I mana tulai a political boruk a hey en hin Hmar nationalism hi I mana apoy mona so baka a nam ta ding a maba or a political roadmap hi I maniding na ti chung chang le a topic reinventing Hmar nationalism and its political roadmap Di Tukuyam hay Shilpuidin a resource person di kung Dr. Vanthangpui hay Khobung ani. Eko hain ama hitumana the introduction toite hay tengete. Dr. Vanthangpui he to hin assistant professor NCERT at Hoklai Mekana ama he a college guy na so Scottish Church Calcutta na Zuzoa MAJ Niwazoa PhD nehu a PhD thesis to politics of rural development and alleviation in Manipur. So, Subaka teaching experience kompumri verzet Lalnuneng ta I alekha insu ngabaka I research projects le research papers interesting do le I namta dinga trangkai do kom alope talaga sulaya pakatsu oral tradition and social life of the Hmar tribe di pakatana Hihi National Seminar on Folk Literature in Indian Languages, NCERT Bhopala Lopekani. Subaka, a research project, Chamna Achenhai, so tribal self-help groups in Manipur, a gender perspective, and women empowerment and self-help groups, the case of tribal women in the hill areas of Manipur, the Komiana. Subaka, politics of implementation, a study of rural development in the hill areas of Manipur with reference to Churchandpur district, the Komiani, tutu ehe zong lane zomin a resource person, ding a hunlak beginning hung film halani.
Masatakin sumlepai thale zung hulu pakai senga hingang hun poi mole pule me bindunga umde amuna pursuk kaya yang umde yo katem tema katin ko malong pun sila hing ang hulu takat sanggong kape ki puno kan tem ema apur lang ro sa apur kalwa kalay kan kasi sel nak shano kom kan abul kan kasuk kamel ding kakaring lay kan kalau deny no ni so ni ro sa kalau tia alle hospital ang ka uso kan dam thai mo mal lawin ko ma wa sun chen ko mi into problem kan ai tong ko mi har sa ka tia to sulay ka paper to ni introduction hang pemet kata I manitia kalau hung thai no palan ti in kalung re kaseng tay pun na kan ka ngai tu na ho mai ka kasi ko mani cho banguran bu min hin ka hung en ka ta ka tai ko mani cho chu Dr. Abigail in suk pe kelata san chu pai tang tang ko mi ka thu kan sam ta la sa ka dia ai bo ru tulai bo ru manipura bi ka tin tulai ai bo ru sirin nam zo an no le anam bi zo nga tira mathiran no ale mason na ding ru nga me yang silai ko mi kalurin ta ka sabul lim khan topic ka mo lim khan kalawin sa ru ngani cho ko be pal ne en khan amiro chu thumai pu ang dewin hang shililla thing ang intru na asia umbrella lin le ma in khai khom nam lin le ma in khai khom me tong sing la hin ai nam in sen interest ai zak ka tra tor thon le khan ma kalai khan bai som sin sa kum lo dewin kai ka pe para hin chu nationalism Hmar nationalism akan kong confound ta pani kalai khan Hmar nationalism mar height na mai ni na ingredients ai ti di mani abol lawai ti di mani nama ni sim tu kha ing hi man na ka ngai ai shi to poi mo ni ka kalai khan ka highlight a brief passing reference ang do ka hi ka pe para ka min mongin ta chun namai ti hin ta ma ko ka to in ten na dingin mi pakatin ke chu mar kan tan chu na ma chen kan ta ka thangan ta ti chang khanam ka wa thang ta anti na marker sai po ko amasala hai po ko ni la abol lai ha lo hai po ko awa po ma awa exapa awan identify ni chen chu shin thai ko ai nei chu non mo chu ai ni mar hai reng experience na ai una bi te hai tu ta ma in konta chu dang hai rong le vai su civilization an to kai lo in check we hai khom khan hi tu hi chin nge te mani chu Tuda hi to pui yuna shrinking up ka ko reinventing Hmar nationalism and its political roadmap dikhania Hmar tong tak chun ma in tui tharna in sim tharna an lo Hmar nam la rum na le ma ting pe am shimin as a political community in survive eta or what were the different initiatives taken up in the past by our leaders more. This is very important. Asanchu chang lathar lang pai hai dingin ai chui tu hai ai pi le tu hai gautam tak an mi lo ron chun pe in terms of oral traditions, in terms of culture, in terms of practice tradition. Hai ko apoi mo em mani chu chun chu khela chun academic academic shielding misila the term nation comes soon in debate in Göttingen amero to vai soon in definition ipe como trulin kashita plus marnam in voinale marnam in changlin na mangaina in tinam so trading and all as a nation in tinam ai survive peding ti ngai tu tanga hong in chong ai nei lain pe ka paper hin chu Hmar zone an tokin athira even our roles within the larger community, the larger political community as a Hmara ai role ka play na hai le ai play kai ding hai ti zone khan hi ka paper sikina umani Abigail stays kan glass of my is ko thonu em lai Ireng Hangirilla HSA in motto Chatawella Lonea. Next slide is it so I do. HSA motto in Shanka. A motto, a ship Robotula, a remind Robotula can it's in HSA motto here. Hangshin rolling like a screen out in here. So the watching Abigail and things of people. Haitian role like singing, feeling, sunning, showing, self-relation. Loving from it. Nation thinking machine long landing in Emily. Like nation the Antokin, the Nams in the Gangatale. nation in yang talking he paper jananya son kat three paper presentation kat chongzo thaino community min la Abigail lunsi takin di ling tong shina chun he kalkhat unsung vela kalungla phat pata bongren ma kazi common lei it is more of description of our political history ai malawlak dahan nam mar nam tungling zong na dinga mai lo lak dahai hi political history contemporary political history descriptive de wa kasi kariti kha kahong mention bukane kalame
Zuktichang Parida inhat kalautin diknoa asukay lang diknoa na kami lipunhay bishopin na akong Asst. Namsu indita katale mithim hayin ang shildan sun mishim anun kong papatin kung katsu abuma khom nung naluril an lehi ani Aristotle tinlay Greek ni Bertun mishim hi anundan renga khom an mishim Vanthangpui hai le abuma khosanu gregarious in nature a group buma umdinga design reng anni ni theikom ni ngati andam khusupna an pasonna an himna hai ki an mishim Vanthangpui hai in laitin na le in phungsong that ani hi clear dan hi Hmar cover nga in atam an hi puya mishimin antam andam pui ti lekom an zul he in an lang mishim hai hi abuma in khai khom na chi sang sang an leya chu hai la ya achim tak chu sun ku family alim tak chu rambung state ani a highest form of human association tiashit ani a Khobung from here abuma in khai from napakhat ani nam le abegom Khobung hublin deu ani a voisuna Khobung le in zamahin sap chonga nation ethnic group annole tribe ti hai hi nam hi a in group ani mishim nam khat kan ni ti a in to hai chu khung khata an ni ti in sheet na sinsi na dang an nei la chu hai chu tang rule vadung hai anga va them le tu the ni lo jing na le pom na belief rem khom lem ti the an ni nam ti hin ko anei li na India America Canada ti hai khom nam nation tia in book thau an ni a chung ang bokin Hmar thado khasi garo ti hai khom namin apok thawa nam sui tu pakhat Anthony D. Smith in model pahe nam che thop na a among chu civic or western model le eastern or ethnic model hai an ni a amasalem hi Canada, India, Pakistan, Japan, USA, etc. hai hi nation a pomte an ni a chun eastern or ethnic model a chun Hmar, Garo, Kuki, Mizo, Karbi, Khasi hai kha nation a pomte hong an ni eastern or ethnic model a hin tin zia in unaw na nei kinship ties life rings on common descent, seeing down in common culture, strong com in high top high linguistic affinity and nilaya nam khata in sal high ako pani he model hin any context nam ancient 80 here anzul kuin there Benedict Anderson chun nam nation chu imagined political community di in ako ani chum zi chu nam khata insan hai chun anzom tir tu akei khom tu tharawa an ni ti na ani nam pakhat kan ni ti a insal na khan somsa or fensa ane ani chuchun ami puile nam chun chu azom that ani mi in chu nam kha kani ti a ansal chun anti tir tu thil or force hai kha angai na in alag run khat ani chu lag run ngai na chu mishima zung ake in thu ko le mi pui anol pui longjil nam sukshring or sukdet so tumna an chang in alin rok na chuchun nam anga anding su na ding dap in azong lak abik takin politics khobela hi thil hai hi thil fe koble in thon nu tak ni in an lang hing ang dap na le in zoma nam lam sho hai hi fit sin tum a sui ani rok lak nam lin lem hai lam sho sui na hu ding tam tak lai in nam chin le rambung sunga poimo tham rak lo marginalized ding amani hai in sui an do tom dewa mar tam khom hi lam hi an lo sho ne lu da lam sa dan ding zong in la sa pe tum anta an la sa pe bok ding ani hing ang chul la le la sa in an la sho pe ding ani alo ro ta sa or arungam in dung kam tak alo umta nam nations mel bang om le mar hama seem to component abol go high what constitutes a nation and what make Hmar a nation atunga Asian ethnic model le nomination chung chang sui tu hai ngai dan dang lakhom in nam pakhat ni thedinga poimo ma ngai athang pui hai chu ting hai ti an ni one in ko na hing pakhat nei chobul thumana in ngai thina Khobung in trom nei a mix of common ancestry ile pu an thuka sulhu in trom shared historical memories Namdang hai nei lo chindan in trom nei one or more differentiating elements of common culture Ramgit le in lightin na nei associations with a specific homeland amishrim atlam sunga cheng atam lem in bum khat na lungril sense of solidarity nei omdan ringdan in trom shared beliefs cheng khom na ram geographical territory kan ram ti a ko thei nei history sui khom thei chong thmun or chong in ang culture in ang chingdan thumun nam in chuidan thumun nam dan in ang thumun thum dan le silfen thu le adang dang hing hai po hi mar tham le ei met le chun mar tham sim tu component a bel thei bong an ni nam ading su ka adam su ding chun nam pakhata insal na Hmar zirang akei khom tu ni a omle ring thang hai kha sukshata sukshing zing apoi mo ani nam chu ni tina mimal tinin an itong zing le tlangzar zing chu ani ti shri apoi mo Hmar hai tribal nam pakhat in 1953 khan a recognize a khakhat nam sim nilawin tribal nama pung ani na chaw ani lem ani Hmar nam anga akung thangtung peidan chu AP le pu hai hung in channa sinlung ain thoka foundation lawin rem chan anta in box hung pe ka box hung a par chaw bul toy te ein lan chan chin si tu hai le rem khom hin asuk chi ha chun upui in zona hung sima now nei ta hai po question don ding
Ipi le pu or inu le pa hayin, Martina mi or Tilaya mar hai chanchin an shil hak seo am. An lo shil hak anichun, Martina mi ka inaw hai shil ve hak am. An lo shil no seo anikoma, nang inhik na le chahem ngay na in ilaw tim taklakam. Or she tumin ma ilak lakam, ma ilaw lak le ihung sheet tungve sun hai ka inaw hai ihil song lakam, ahil song e kam dim su, anno le atim dingin Asian top. Colonial rule and Hmar nationalism, British account of Hmar and kindred tribe, administration, labor corps, Christianity and literature. Point pakatna, British account of Zonghao group and its implications on Hmar nationalism. Kumpinu Laldram in India Hmars Lamnu Ful Hai, Ahong Mer Street, Aop Chankan, Zonau Hai He Bum Kat, in Ansansinsi, and Nideu Bonga. Q60 Paul Hayin, Charles Croft, Zafarabata, and Zuhut Hude, and Anlam, Anin Enter Tuzi, Anil. All cookies, new cookies, Tidam, Kosak, Kosol Hai Rorel Nadam, British Hun Lai An, Nam, Kuki Tiashi Thai, Aimol, Anal, Chiru, Chote, Gangte, Mar, Koireng, Kom, Lamkang, Lusai, Monsang, Moyon, Peite, Purum, Ralte, Simte, Sukte, Tado, Vaipe, Zo, Kuki Lusai Group, Mar Kosak, Mar Lusai Hilsa, Nam Cheng Ve Lai, Azit Lang Na, British Hai Khan, Pakhat, Mun Khat Angin, Zo Nau Hai, Zit In and Reporter, in Kai Kom Na Lin Lem Atang Ve Le, Kop In and Zika. Hi anga report aloni lein, tu chen hin, Manipur le Asama, Kuki, Mizoram, Mizo le Myanmar, Sin Tihi, in Shit Langlon na Abang, Anirok, Zing A. A Pompuyam, Pompuy Notam, tu chen hin, Zik tu le documents tam tak hai, Atun, Pakat, or Nam Pakat anga, Hai Lang le si Anirok. A pom le pom no pol ins, pom dan le ngai dan, an kukal sa teti su, silsak ngai daw ani. Tulay Manipura ngir kun en tun, hing ang a bukata British hayin an rikoda an law si lahi, sukbul harafe kuy kun tak kom ni in an lang. Amin rupchu, British hayin zoha tak hay, an op kun an toka tutena nam chung tua, an khovel inlublet dan, enin til ol ay anino na, ding chu, sheet hay na Martam an niti a, sheet alo tak hay, Kom, Koren, Chiru le adam lang hay Manipur, a, chuchun bitenam ma insal tu pay kahay, a bitin asamale, Tripura, Martam penga, ngay lo ni tak hay, Chore, Darlong, etc. Kom, Martama, mindew dew lekin, an dadew dewa, ashad lem le, an min na ding lem, ngay haidam or belin or tampakat into hetlem, dew dewin an taylem ani. Chung ang bukin an kay kom na lem British High local na le reports na infung het nekin nambing into het na alasalem in an langa. Nagakay infung het na simhi, chong daw ng insyapolo infung koma nam isim ani naga lungoy in ansung tukotang tu tukhat lo nisin at sung tinga ay shilta martam or zonaw high group chongbe anga lo mai kom anbel lem ahung nitu peita namlin lem atu damnale himna alo lem kom ning ati Zona ta Kuki, Hmar Chin, Mizo Mi Hai, Hey en no in la, Hmar in play, Flem Hai, An Nit Ti, An Chong in Zuldan Le, in Ang Dan, in my rule ni lo hai in lu rula hun khata in khai pom pe lo an ni jing chu ani all some le adetin do lem ding ani om tak mar hai khobela in thokti thu hi thi na tam taka fil seida leiti nam chimral in law na le anei tu bi in sak a in ob de la bo del a in tang khom anil pay a in khom chu lo ni sin British of na hnuya azik le record hin nam ni na lin lem mar hai le an lai zom nam hai ta ding in an lo in du ani chu hai chu a het taka in thung zing nam tam tak an la anin thung na a midang hai or dumping danga min adet ta hai dam ne tuma palak na khom achol chu no point number 2 kumpinu lalram geographical reorganizations policy in Marhai Lai national self-determination feelings ashinsuk request ko to hong sinuma kaneka inkhal ating team kome kashinga involunteer no so mukha subli point line talking mukha subli la ramon music pero
material here as a chain as a book point wise in a fin atun puta aitho topic hi colonial rule and Hmar nationalism British account of Hmar and kindred tribe the topic point number panina ni mo pakhat na khan British account of zona thak ai ni zona group sai ka ani and its implication on Hmar nationalism ani tu hin apanina dingin Kumpinularam geographical reorganization policy in Hmar highlight national self-determination feeling ashin sukdan to hin ay topic patin na iluding ani namin ram alubi homeland hi nam nation ram khom tu laya poi mo em ani nam pakata insar hai chun kan ram ti hi an sang chor rotla an ram del chin le an cheng ne in an shing nu na mun poi mo tak alu laka kan ta ti a nei tu chan an chang na ani ham pakhat kan ni ti a an sa na nam het tu ani kumpinula ram policy le Hmar high politics and future a hong dan pani ang shil bakin la British high hong ma khan Hmar high del na ram hi mi pui ro en real na fe pui ani laka British in an hung la kan thok in sarkar in real bol na shan hu ya si in daidan ni nan hung uma chu thedara sun anni tin khosak nail chaw suk bui lawin nam anga anir su theina dinga mangru asuk si peka Hmar hai hin an lo del ram hi compact area ani ami rup chu thedara rung le vai suan thoka Hmar tinga hai po Lushey Hills simtinga Hmar bubit na po Manipur le athak ting le sutinga Hmar hai hi asam ting in koptirin an ne chunga state district hai chun nam tlom le marginalized lem kha ahung in ni tir paya hingir mun hin zalen ta ma ni del naram nge ya mani mi le sa hai le in real bol na nei be se na lungril atu nge ni an langa tu chena Hmar hai ta dinga bui pui tham thing zalen taka an ram del na mani rawin rel na nei theilawa sim tu ahung ni tu pe ani Hmar hai ram del na po semdara station shana in koptira hin nam ta dinga zalen na mani chipui hai le in rel bol na pakhat hu ya sa tronga self determination ai ti mo tit na ashing su ani subaka indo pui pakhat na khom hi Hmar hai ta dinga politics ti nga har thar na pakhat anga in zik le recording Putin khovele anin po na pakhat ni in miramin obdan le khosaktan an zuhu phana ani kumpinu sarkarin March halai ru tam tak pot purin asora France ram chen zutlung tol khom an omani Marchong takin Faran Sife Antisaka Parbungan Tok Komin Ni Son Produklay An Lo Fe Via An Sansinan Shildan Sun In Hok Laya Fe Nilawin Saklo Zita Fe An Ni Antia Bong Sa Fe Pok Sungin In Tha An Ni A Fe Ding Tlang Val Hai Kan Mit Klipuminan Faka Trap Pum Tak Mewin An Fe An Ni Ti In A Fe A Cham Ge Nge Pu Shang Kap Sina Tunu LB Marin Ashil Song Ani Tingin. Sakuna literature point number pathum. Sakuna literature le marhai nama hartharna Christianity literature le marhai national consciousness. Ihi British sarkar in intinam ay sakuna ting high effect ahong niya di high ka ay nam ay ituhin ay hay no dengan di topic adot na dingin. Nam sakuri Christian sakuin ahong thak thlengdan ay shit bong ring uma. An sapu hui pomdan le zuidan chu sapu thara thodan le zuidan an thak thenga Hmar society ta dinga achat na shil seng rule an no a achat no na khom shil ani hak bok buka khai khinin tum abuk rik lem ding chu a Christian sapu la run na spirit enin shil sei angai hmel a sapu na tharin nam hason na an run zi zik la khom atam ta a research khom thonul an ta a Insuk na lang puya lem so Khovel thar bi hong pek tu ani Marin Khovel clear na tok welcome athak tanglam vong ani a Christian hong ni thima thalai insuk na konga ma an lak chan na chan chin hai dam hi ti na mi ngai nu ating ani hi nga ma lo na sa tu hai zara hin marnam in voina ashing suka enter na dam tak hu the na uma Daklat ngay nan lang bo. Khovel kundanga mi hai til tho dandam, anin real bol dandam le, namin ay tlok pui thay, ding hai hung shein, khotlang le namak changkay an hung ni pay ane. Zik dan le tim dan kalmang la shelo marnam hai chu, zansin cha shil tu hai, Reverend Freddie J. Sandy, thang ngay la Reverend Thangkup G.A. Grierson, Marchong azik tu, masatak hai zarin an hong shitin an ninsuk tung via. An sulhu history hai, British hai in, an ni muda na in thoka an zik hai le record hai kom an hong bi jing thay beya. An ni in an chan chin ye an hong zik chan hai le, an hong zik chan kay bok an it. Hi ngam shit tao na hong ngay pain, an ham chu le mamokom hong dak tok pain. Nam anga mason kuma hong nin kay boka. Marchong Bible grammar dictionary le kabutang dang hong suk hai kom he nam harthar na indik na lang pui ko muthay to an hong ni bay ani. Khovel team na varna NCERT na hun ahong an hong bela chu an hong bel chun culture nun hong dang hai in sarkar na kalmang nam lerang in suidan ding le literature tuk veran thokan hong mel shitin hun thar an hong chung kai tira nam marnama hartharna consciousness ai ti hi nasatak lowin tlunge ani an culture custom history an khotul chanchin koshan chanchin le langdang hai he marchong he ya tim theya an leihin nam shan lusai ti lo an ni na asuk det zula Dik ina pathin dik na thu le la hai lusaya an lo tho le nei lak chu marchong in ahung tha ka la lusai chunga sakhai kha marla pukin an pathin dik na khom mani tin pui chong nge in an hung tho tung play ani ka puk tu masa pastor thangwur vt ka pu ati hai he ai shit seng angin mo chong in akei bumin asuk shata Marnam nina asuklet le sukshat kain umani. Literature hi marhai ta dinga nam harthar na intuntu koi mo tak ani ni. Subaka India azalen nadar in Hmar Saka tribal haikom base na hum simpe kaya nam ngai dat na nam liram zalen na tinzon ga haikom ahong suk kaya chun nam la hai chu atam lem zo union Zona hai in khat na on ko pakhat him zo union na ai shi hi in larlaya an thuk ani a nam hla dang hai hi mar hai khoma an dam khusuk na ding le an ram le nam zo na tha or zo now hai thederau hai hi in pun thom loka base in pun thom lok na base in zo union hi an lo in dik na sa ema hi hun lai huna hapu ka hai hi mar hai lung rila in zom khom na Lalnuneng na in thoka fihim na mipui ro re na lak lut democracy ai ti mo le mizo sarkar indin ti hai hi kha an min ni nan langani bual ke bomina ji marla suina ti le khabu khan la an lo pho phai kim sang le min uma khang hai khum kha hi a seminar zawa lo team no ve lo sui no mai chun chu lo team zom thei ani mo nam la khan an nam be sei la el zo mi loin mizo union movement na an halak na sukshat kwa mangin mi kho khom le mobilize na an mangchang kai la Pesuna ay keynote speaker kuma hay shil la ay hay sakhan o kan maram ti kan lungrila mo nationalism le consciousness akay thar pu hai kum kha ay hay shil thaya tun anexa ay topic dingin politics khovela mar hai base na kham shri le room more national politics aspirations le roadmap ti hi hilahin PPT and thei na lo ta hung ti lo sui num thai kham kan hin lo sui thei ni ngati Pipu chobulan thoka nam pangai na chi in phum British hain an chanchin an suya sitan hai le an cheng na ram hai thei to pa in real wala shan huya an lo khum hai sa khuna thar tu peran thoka an thil shi le in suk dok hai an kam ni na alo suk det pe hai bel sapa mar na ma har thar na thung chu India zalen na hu thung hu le khan zalen na thi in ahung sim vel na kha ane India rama zalen na thi khan arama mipui hai hi anot no hewan no a India rama independent lalram British hai opna huya lo hai khom India in zalen na ahang hujun intel khom zai hung relin India rambua anin zik lu chukel ani ho hingang bo ru ahin Mizo Union in mar hai laya nam zalen na le ma nia rawin real na tharau akeshing na sa ema hi ma hin mar hai chun an nam nun phung vong him na ding lo ti chu pol an lo la nei ngai no mi nan langa mar association ti hi January ni som hi 1935 Manipur le January ni som hi 1938 North Kachar Hills sa hunso alone People hi nam nun phum hal nam dan phum him le mar nam hason na ding ti hai kha alo in din san ani politics rong kai lo ti thei ding ani sarkar in real bol na team la kok ngai lo deu bom anya mar nam political aspiration le road map lo show ta hai hi asong thumin hang che chho pe ta apakhat na zona tha zona level up apati na mar state aspiration le apathum na political autonomy in real bol na 5b td mani autonomous district council 80 high territorial council 80 high India federal state sunga 80 high haze of ending ani level pathumin level pakhatna dingin a political aspiration zona thak zona high in khai khom nalin lem in thurul na le mar high zona thak level a he nai mar namin Zona hai nam in khai khom na lin le ma lungru la khom thei na dingin ma an lo la na tam taka uma zona in khom na integration lin lem suk thei na dinga malaruk tu an ni mar nam hin an ni chibing nam sung zo ni lovin an political aspiration si an una zona tha khai hu vision khom lo ne in an lo fe pui lak ani ti an lang theya Tuel khela mar hai hi zona ethnic groups la ya chu neutral nam ti thei ding khomin ai uma rem na lam pui zong na ko da rem na sim na ko da klon ngai na ma ni nam sum lei khel chen khomin in lung tir nam ai ni jing ta ka ne te ma kong tam ta ka an phalak na hai hi na ki cham la hum thar pe hai ta ding khoma ti na mi ngai ngum atli ringa uma an phalak na din tham le hai chu he su langin la apakhat na dingin unaw su pui le man masi unaw su pui ti ming choya mar hai phalak na hi ani Voi thum lai hi ngang in Khobung hi nei anita a una supui cultural meet 1994 Hmar Kovina chun man masi supui in Khobung Janthom Tripura le Rung le vai su una supui cultural festival 2023 haya in go khoman malak na hai kha ani cultural ties sukshat le collective heritage sukrim na dinga organized lak ani a political vision le ya organize ani no a chu marnam khuvela ding in siklak le khong nei ve ani hi platform hin marnam nu sunga team le marnam ni na nei tu lo ni lak ei lo shelta namdan lang ai mol ana bite chare chiru chothe mar kharam koireng kom lamkang purum ranglong le adam lang hain uncommon heritage ha anin remind nok na mang ru koi mo tak ani hi marnam si shang hai he rung le vai su civilization ya an kwai state le khabwa ei mang mo nam het tu an ni a Tripura, Mizoram, Kachar, Barak Valley, ti haya an lawin dar ta hai sin khom nam sim tu components nam sim tu koi mo bulti nga ai tar lam hai pi le puan thoka sul hu in trom subtrong in shared historical memories ai ti kha trong in nai hai besana nam khata lawin san khai an ni hi chung thua hin mar nam abikin mar trong mang hai political aspirations Mar hai hun lo del na British hai nan the dar le anam mi hai state tum hi Tripura Manipur Assam Mizoram ai ti hai nuya lovin kopter ta ke khom lok na dinga malak na le thum kop the ani chune kalin le ma zonau le zona tha khai po ram khata khom mathli le ke khom ke zon the ani ani Apan ni na tiang khan Mizo Union 1946 in din kha ani a hi po thil tum chan khat hi in pum khat la on zong ma ni nam Mizo binga in sarkar na nei lalno rel na mipui ro rel na tha usung sadar in pek le pot phur suk bo hai kha mar mipui ne tu ni nan langa an pi le pu haya in thok an ram lo del na tu ta Manipur Simting Mizoram Marting le Assam Kachar NC Hills Dima Hasa Humita Khoidara ke khom the na lampui ni khomin an lang boka nam an ram del na an thoka the dar hai nir hun le political victims an ni thei ji shatu khom an ni bok lein zona hai ram the dara lo ta ke khom na dingin ani ke khom ani theina ding chance huin thei to lovin su ani Manipura Hmar hai chun Manipura Assembly election nei masata ka khom khat an lo boycott politically anam chan chat na ding Manipur Chief Minister Kalakuna PB Singh Khan Hmar hai kha Territorial Council allow offer ti shil khom ani in thuru na le jalen na nuya mani nam chan pui hai le son sarkar na thla tu la lem hai ni a Mizo Union Special Assembly khom sen von khua an lo host ani tu lai trong takin separate administration idea an lo so pui le ram ta khang lai na in khok khan mo tu ta Manipur bo ru khin hi idea hi ahong suk thar chang khom ni nan langa ami ru chu Mizo Union movement kha mar hai ta ding chun Lungnat takin atopa Lushai Hills District Marhai na Manipur le Assam Changlawin Lushai Hills District ki kha sim ani a Mizo Union movement top da na hin Marhai gi an lunga oi no a an una Mizorama hai in thim lo na lin ta kan hung ne a midang hai mitum na le Central Sarkar in rol na mam ti khom an ngai ben chung ni nan langa marnam har thar na la pun na sakakin atlunga Mizo ti kha Mar hai in an hung pomin an pom thei ta no a Mizo Union top la mar hai nung oi lo na hungir su lam chu mar lam sunga Pol Party hungpi gi ania Mar National Congress HNC hungpi nga 1958 khan Mar National Union ti hungpi in political party le organizations mar la ya hai po bo ania athil tum langsar tak chu Mar hai in Dardaram hai po ke khoma Mar autonomous district sul dokha ania hun hung fe pe in HNU khom a hung thrat noi na hung re deu pe ya thing so alangir zing Hmar State District demand le in zom hin Hmar nam la ya pol party tum hain lekha vai tam tak an lo thelu ta thak a so hai chu he suin la Hmar State District Vision le malak na hai October 19, 1953 khan puro chunga pudai te in Prime Minister Puma memorandum amangin asapmita sutaka chun Hmar hai ramdel na po hi Manipur simthang Lushai Hill Simting Pang di hai le Kachar District of Hmar hai po ke khoma district shan sim dinga ange hania schedule tribe list Hmar achung no lein anlung ni no zi zitlang ani boka Hmar hai har sat na le linzul deu an khun sa bok ani chu har sat na hai chu he nei ta marketing problem di le in fe po na lang pui le ship po na le education ting pang thi in su la chung chang ani he nei ti marketing problem buan sing thu le ser thum le reng the hai an thar suk cheu ji lak ji hai shila an khai thar zon na tak lak hai kha East Bengal tu ta East Bengal so East Pakistan hum ni a cho Bangladesh tu ta ai ship no hai an ni a India ram shedar hin an thil zor na ret asuk si khle thu hai ashila thil dam hing IT marcha le pat a hai an hai in to de zi le sil lebil lakom an kutsuk e an mang zi hai machi le convert to rup so har satna an nei zi hai ashil sa bokani memorandum khan pani na khan in fe po na lam pui le in sheet po na da postal service motor in lon na le da thon na hun hai hlat an le ya be dong na khom zi sa ani boka chun apathum na team in suk na chungchang in suk na huna mun an tla samji le sarkar school lom te sun hai khom Manipuri Meitei lon naupang in suk tir na a mangding ti hai in position a thu le Julia school hai rausana thu hai English medium school klom te chaw a thu hai le marchunga in suk tir na fe pui thu hai le aram mi pui hai changkho min high school in din thu khom ashil langa Hindi chin chukin a thu ashil boka an cheng na hun hai le school in that zi le har sat na asin na sat zi hai le mitam lakin an naw high school a anin kai te theino thu hai shil alo ni bok ani chu Hmar State Vision halap na pakhat Prime Minister ko la memorandum an law submita chu hai chu ani a malak na patni na chu first Hmar conference July 1954 parbung khua khan Hmar hai dal na rampo Manipur Kachar Lushai Hills North Kachar Hills hai sa khaka district pakhata simding in state reorganization commission hai puma memorandum pe lut anram titlanga hingang memorandum thelut dinghin party thar sim chulin an sheet lain Hmar National Congress ti party indin anram tibuka secretary dingin TH Nampui le RC Pudaite chairman Hmar conference hain parbung Hmar Hills ti ngadin anling huya anzik ani hi thulu ka hi bozu in state reorganization commission kuma memorandum pe lut ani a hi memorandum hin Hmar hai British opna huya thedara hai rorel na pakhat huya ke khom dingin hina an pe ka Hmar hai bubit na Lushai Hills Kachar North Kachar Hills le Manipur Simting Bangai le Tipaimuk area hai hi ke khoma Hmar Hill district ya ko nipok sim ti ani chun apathum na Hmar National Union memorandum to the Prime Minister of India 1960 hi balak na apathum na he en located Lushai Hills Mizo district North NC Hills Kachara Hmar hai hai hi compact area ani lein British hai humwa khan Hmar hai dal na ram hi mipui ro rel na fe pui ani laka British in an hung la kan thok khan sarkar in rel bona shan huya sia daidalin a uma hi nga chedara an state district an vom na hai minority nam tlom lem hungin political victims em ni pe ya chuchun ai fak zong na khotla mun phung an hong tam tak anaya chulain in rel bol na pakhat huya dingin hina an lo pe ani chun Manipur Kachar le North Kachar le Tripura Kuki tia record an ni na Lushai Hilsa silut an ni na chu อันลิกโนอันนี้ตีคอมอันจิกละงะนำเป็นช่างช่างมาร์นำสูงมีโปโปจุดมาร์ที่อาจิกลูดดิ้งอันนี้ทูชิลลังอันนี้บอกว่าบุกขตาเทดิ้งเลยตีนัดล่างไอ้ทกันอารมณ์จะให้เชดรันนี่เลยอะอันภาษีลูดรินลูดนัสเตทเลยดิสทริกต์ให้อาซีร์อันโนเลยอพิลโตกะอันเปจิทูให้ลำโนกินที่งังเช่นช่างนั้นมังอบเดียสรการนันสิมนะเหตุไทยบัวสิมชัดอันพูดบอกว่าอันนำผสมนัดดิ้งเลยอินช่างลินนัดดิ้งดาวเดทูไฮจิทำอันนี้บอกอันนี้รันดามาคันส่วนอันนั้นก็1968 April ส่งประกาศทัน Governor อาสัมสรการกูมาหาน้ำเชนลาราโรวินเรียนนักคนต้องลังดูยา British สรการในอโลซีอินเดียอินเซเลนนาอักมูมุงขมาและส่วนไปที่คลินิกเราอันนี้ทูอินตุนันนิโนกาอินเดียรำสรการในอันเวดงนาไว้ตั้งกับสรการกูมาอินตุนอันอุกสักโนซีเลยอันนุ่งสักโนซีให้อันลุงนี่โนเรียนที่ศึกษาอันนี้บอกว่ายิ่งหายิ่งสุดตัวปาเราเรียนนับประคัดผู้ยาอินสุ่งคมอันนุ่มน่าสุดคุยจริงดิ่งอันเงียนตั้งไม่ว่า September 1968ของคันอินเดีย Prime Minister ที่อินดิรากันที่พูมา Memorandum เป็น Hmar Hill District ซิมเป็กดิ่งนี่น่าอันสินโนอันนี้ที่เห็นน้ำดำทะเลมาส่วนอันทุนอันเบสทูเลน้ำช่างช่างไฮอินทุกอันนุ่มตักเจ็ดบอกอันนี้สุดๆ India Constitution ที่ตุ้มประคัดคมอันนี้ที่ทาง state or distriction อันนี้นะคุณที่ India independence ไอ้หุ่นเดี๋ยวไล่เป็นค่ะ state highway บอลเชดาร์เลสินชัดคุณไล่ค่ะอันนี้มิโซรัมที่ Assam state ผู้ยาละอันนี้เลยนี่นะให้ที่ Assam สรการอันโนเล state ซิมรัมทู committee ให้ผู้ตะคมเป็ดอันนี้Hmar political vision he kum 1970 chungting hin bozoina moding mang tano nam ai yen ket zingle mar namin zalen na husunga anram del ke ya rorel na he anlamit kha zingani ti suklan na ding hing angangen na sim he sunzom zing ashano amani o ti he ngai du churin anlang so el khela chui tu masa hai pathi lo nei sunzom zing dam he in zaton in internally anong tool to hai ta ding anong tool to ding namin ai da nei pe in nam na khom ani adota hai lok no ke ta Hmar political aspiration and autonomy movement Mizoram Manipur le Assam Mizoram hai et phatai ke Mizo union concert Hmar nam hi highlight abol theino tin lang na pakhat chu Mizoram Hmar nam ding political movement hung pi hi ani HNU Indina umnok na kantak apur suk heino lein Hmar laya chui tu chan khatin Hmar Association ti aizola 1983 khan andina 1986 khan chu pol chu Hmar People's Convention HPC ATK ti hum thakin political party pakhatin ahungir ani hi party hin Mizoram bika Hmar hai ta dinga in rebol na district level a dinga hung thot chana Hmar Autonomous District Council Hmar Hai Bubit na Mizoram Sitting Le Sim Thang Ting Hai Pupa ADC Hmar Hai Ta Dinga Simpek Dinin Andi Chanta Ani Hmar Hai Political Aspirations State Being Thur Hun Pingin Hmar Hai Hun Lim Tanunga Ani Lird Mun Hai Le An Harsat Na Hai An Shillanga Voi Tam Tak Prime Minister Bula Memorandum Submit Ani Mizoram Sarkar Khomin na asit zungin an lang no an thil ngen le ni chu suk shat na mang no an mang tumin darkar som mi pahni ban ko ani peaceful protest dinga ri rung le tran chu tharun mangin Mizoram Sarkar chun suk top athuma mitam tok an dim kha HPC hai chu an som le cham lovin silai Putin Rampo ya lutin an demand to an Vanthangpui ani kumsom hi neka sot Hmar Autonomous District Council sul document HPC chun ma alaka 1994 khan Mizoram Sarkar le HPC hain aizola remna sim na dinga memorandum anzi ka Sinlung Hills Development Council di in anin boka อันเริ่มนั่นสิกรุงสุยจุนจูกองเสียจุนทุเนนะทุเนเทนะตั้งกับอินจุกนักองอดามขุดลาฝากและโดนจงนักองอดามเปกามาจงสุนาวปังหัวรูปเส้นให้อินจุกเตียนะจงมาบังดิเรียนมิโซรามาดิ่งจงไปมัวไงดิ่งมาลักดิ่งอันที่ปกอันนี้ที่ผู้ไล่หายามิโซรามามาจงเหี่ยmajor language อันหง recognize คำขาดอันมันเราหลักนะที่หงอาราหงสุดดอกไอเราให้ไปอันนี้ที่โลกตาไม่รู้จู่ฮีเลนขจิคีเขาช่วยให้สุขุยเต็งนี่โนเลนมิโซรัม HPC political movement จู่สุขทารินอาเฟียซิงาคอนเทรค2018คันเริ่มนะฮีสุขทารินโนเกนซินลูกฮิลส์ Development Council อินเดียนอันนี้ตาอันนี้ส่วนมิโซรัมจังหวัดอุหินอัสสัมสเตตาให้ลูกน้องตาอัสสัมสเตตามาหน้าให้ตาเป็นออโตโนมีมาอันเราหลักการให้อันน้องติasama marum hai hi in rail bol na rungam dam dam huya an uma NCERT sa che hai chu autonomous district council in rail bol na huya an uma barak phaizol kachar laya hi hai nok chu nam lo minority nin asam rama tribal ti khomashi an ni no asam state sarkarin a recognize lo an ya marnam hai chun an har sat na hai suking ani theina dinga malain kachar hill people's federation CHPF ti nan indina movement hong shata tharum tho hong hlur chun in week na chanin in rem na sim ani a barak valley hill tribes development council ye sim ani hi council hi marnam thileng zuma sarkar advice pek theiting chawa indu ani a ami rup chu an khata power exercise theina an nei no tribal high mason na dinga scheme high review na sin tho thei ding ti an ni a chun DRDA silchar hailakandi le karimganj shahar representative tir thei bokan ti ani bo sarkar control na le malaksha no le chanon le tu chen hin tribal high ta dinga tho thei nei le function chathe Hmar Hmar People's Convention Democratic Assam Region di Pol Hai Kumin Assama Marnam Hai Mason na ding imchuk na kong fak zong na kong le culture le traditions hai hum halani thein na dinga Autonomous Council at Nivezinga Hmar Autonomous District HAC propose sa hin NC Hills Dima Hasaw Karbi Anglong le Assam Barak Valley Marku Ku Somku Paku population chun siuruk le sang nga vel hai ahup dinga ngen ani a in week na felai zinga shil ani bok ani marnam hai ti na tlanga in thoka an mamor khu thuk lo an ni na le an thil demand hi constitution hu su khoma khom ani thu le in rem na le mum na in lai chin na thalem mar hai le asam sunga nam hai lai a theina ding in hi mar autonomous council hi demand ani ti an memorandum chun in siksa bogari HAC room aman sin tho dingdan hai in dung sa boma si ani bok ani tun adota manipur ei jok lo man kai khat la hengir bangai tiwa I pusu kamai ummata khaya in chei nung hai ka in chei lo se tui don mai chun tu la khong tui bot la si ani in su la mai lo chun mo ale tun adota manipur hei lu no ke manipur mar hai chun pile pu hai an thoka an del na le an bubit na hon room le vai su le ase be hun so district pakhat nive in an doa chu el khela picha phai su nga khutam tak hi ren kai silmat saikot marveng saidan thing chom mulwai phei le adang mar hai to bok ani Manipur hi mar hai khovela mun poi mo mar hai khovela Manipur hin mun poi mo la ka thoa mar nam bupa in khai khom la pol tum hai center ani bokani Manipur mar nam hai hi Mizo Union hun lai khom ani chang chat na ding chan nga ma nam tran na lung rin putlat ani ti shi thein me thum sang som pathum ai thokhan Manipur chu tlammi kuki mar zong mi Mizo le May te hai kara bui na sukin har sat na men lovin mi pui atap buka in le lo mang ru thum no en khela mishim shing na hai su le chan ani ta rowin real na shan separate administration limeka hun ho fe pe chu rowin real na shan separate administration ni ta chu union territory legislature cham hi ani tiri ahong zui pe ya Manipura Nam Hai political movement fame chu an una zona thak hai le in som tat ani in ang ro rel na hun umata ti chu ngai tu na jing chu ani mar nam hai hin an del na ram sika nam dam khusu na dingin ma an lam jing lai dingin anon puya mar nam dam na dinga poi mo le malang hal theino na komplom te su langin ai hun su to pin la to na dinga chung hai chu root subdet mani intran na ngai nat le sukshata domkam political center ding explora lamhet achul appoint no ka political identity a nei na hai hing marbil NC Hills Sinlung Hills Development Council hai he subburip kom he ai chu tam zetani appoint pakhat lok tinga mar state based division chui tu hui hai lo tran mar na po administration pakhat huya ding ti sukshin jing le in chuk na tinga malak le mar portion tum in kong he in hai he ei nam dam khusu na dinga ma ei la no theina ding point hai so ani atop na taka dingin mar mi pui hain kan ram homeland ya eko thei sengding compact area room levai sule asevel covering Hmar inhabited areas of Mizoram, Assam, Manipur hi ngai poima develop atu tak zet nam chu rangle in kop tak ani boru ka cheng lakai ni sino mishim nam pakhata insan hai chun kan ram homeland ti an nei te ting taka kan ram homeland tia neya subdet apoi mozi chu Zudanam haya in thokhom hin shi thei ani khovel pumpuya kindar in lo hai sin khom anram homeland ti an kom le an lo thir jing lak chu Palestine puta Israel ni ta an promised land ani chun puta atop na chu ei juk tim zawa Dr. Vanthangpui Khobung lom tak set ti atop na tulad relevant ma saksan chu tu hin hi Israel le Iran khom anin to me ka ma ni ran homeland karam ti din an nei ke na dingin chu lei chun voice na hi lo ngai thatu hai le hi video lo en tu hai rin khoma hi ei talk hi mar in karam homeland ti ei nei ke na dingin ma ni ma zon senga ma ai da no ke na ding ei hein dit sak no ka hi tuta talk set soft copy in simeta le hard copy khoma sim ningata chu allow dit hai le allow ti mum hai mani chun HSA joint headquarters seri obi hai kola kin la thai ni ngate
an hoi tak zet ngai sa kan hoi lo ngai tu na thai tam tak ni pe ka in dom nung dang an no le she sam nung hai kun ene ringau ma chung hai na pi le Q&A interactive session hai NFL sang pe din ni sin la ma ting he la Silpakat kangai tu na umunso. Tula in isukin la vai hai mani tu mani ami singai kaklo le tu minya ki singai kaklo ni tu kuin la mani e introducing la sukani in filin la amasun who is Hmar? Hmar tu mana define Hmar sin la inkinam to nei ta ki ka hi mai to voi sunya Hmar trong tia e fi trong ham hai di an ni Annole mar patlam hing put hai hi an ni annole HYM mar welfare in ziglut po hai hi an ni annole mar pile putsan chin le tinamia ei la mu ang nun phung hi ma ni ta nga poma labong thasing hai hi an ni internet in trong upa pile putong eti sikpui lam la ai hu hai ang trong ai hu ang trong kha với sunya ai mang mà trong lên inang mona tam tak ni ta với amiru với sunya nang le ke khamin ai mang trong gi mà trong ai thi thoa sun với sunya nang le với sunni nang le ke khamin mà kan ai thi thoa ni trong ai vo an her dang lam pe yang hin ing tinam AI identity ai ni nai a define and knowledge every define kaya and knowledge tinam a define to it still high and head ang lampe ya I high dang ni mai tuna au ma hing high and head ang lampe rising in tinam mar identity a sup the charisma I high dang nakita tu tai hing mai sak ang kompan early 20th century laya gospel and train erama Sahung Zahung Kompan Ahung Zahung Khan Ingtenam Mar identity Bow Silawin Mar identity redefine Dong Uma Ahung Danglam Di Haidam 21st century Voisunai Kovel WhatsApp Kovel Video Call Kovel Instagram Kovel Mar Tia in Fehai Kom India le khobel mun tinam tina in theda round ta sakle tlangai in theda round hai culturally homogeneous nun thunga pakhat in ang no nam thaklo elani harness eti in tinam elami te ti hai badula ngai tu na tam takoma khilding tam takum mate social highwaysm identity and heritage of the Hmars through Sociocultural discourse, the topic to him, a resource person. So, name Dr. Abigail Lalnuneng anto, engai fak nok tingana. Eko man Dr. Abigail tu manati introduction to ite lahi tong ite. Amahi anthropologist ania Department of Anthropology, the University assistant professor Sintolai Mekan. Sun Northeastern Hill University Nehu Shillong Antok gold medalist ngat nin MSc Anthropology Alozawa 2019 kan Department of Anthropology Nehu Antok Bogin PhD doctorate degree Alozawa the university Sinang Zamma Khom kan research le work experience Zao Tak Lo Nei Tanya Royal Thimphu College Bhutan senior lecturers in Alozawa 2015 le 2018 le 21 Sung Kompan Department of Anthropology Sikkim University Zertier Tursin Alo Khobung Sun Sports Authority of India Noya anthropometrist sports scientist ya fits in Khomalo Toa Sun Knowledge Academy United Kingdom UK akom Zertier Tursin Trang Alo Toa Tapok ani in Sung nating hinat area tam takanaya Sunghaya Khatsa Biological Anthropology, Human Ecology and Adaptation, Public Health, Women's Rights and Education Tihayan. Anhing na area le nizam in research articles le khabua high contribution kan him tok takalaw nita. A research na asui laya koy mo em pakatso. Marhay hi ay nun pung ay kosak na le ay research na hit. Yung naman zam na niya marhay like hypertension BP sang diay dami HM na pun diserin khopui le khote urban le rural diserin danglam na niya diay dami ni interesting le to him a resource person Dr. Abigail Lalnuneng a field Ross.
Khmar, thank you for the introduction. Asatakin, he was one day symposium on exploring the dynamics of Hmar society, Hmar sociocultural aspects and political economy. A kun Mr. Puikin to a Katuba, Han, non Twin Chubaka, he HSA Hain, he couldn't point more in love with say now. In Punokati and Emma, seen love having me invite him into a long Kudon Shilboka, Shubaka, he there I knew high. We saw his own seen love him, he took a hint, he a symposium play in Zoma. In Mihun Changpet, Mihun Kong, Kudon Shilbok, seen now. Very soon, a symposium, topic Beka, Identity and Heritage of the Hmar through Sociocultural Discourse, a topic in Mihunke, Sapakhan, Kalo, Hopper in Emma, because he a area of specialization, Aninoa, Nisin Lakom, here, with the support of early literature, literature lausik high, high, lekhu high dam kaunga hanabibuke so high to kahung tima to chubaka internet sources high, enin to the talking he kahung prepare na. I think in part from him in kahung shil take her no comment in he subject kahung design comment. We high initiative na request. Chubaka tuta in PPT come here. A need hiding a heritage, a identity sheet here. Apoimo and Emma to today important in PPT come here would say any the topic can do in a short introduction as on how I personally try to reinforce my identity as a Hmar in Khobung Shiluma. Hilai Ahum Popo highlighting my Trump here, Kalau him not up here. And then there are a lot of reasons. Imfalakan Kapinga Kahung Saydin Kan in class 10 and Kansu Hmar High Kahung Laka, Hmar MIL. Kan Emma. And actually, one of the disadvantages kaju imfalakan any first to the high count, my MIL lak high count, how to ha, any no or how to ha. Children MIL loving kanchu in kat money in how to ha in zong form machula. Kalay count in kat kehamin ka how to in Hmar Sangui pastor Darjeeling here. Kalau request to children need them in so laka. Kalay count marchong here kalau in the Emma. Marchong upa high grammar high ki high kung dikalo in suka nisila kong a low nale ain suk na isir kant linguist Thailand low coined bilingual subtraction tihi kahong fesa bilingual subtraction to imanai tichinsu language now in namihung influence more. For example in kat infala high to lady chong high kung hanga Jun school high Satroy Hong Hin, a first language, a mother tongue, he imitating we compromise Kakand Mayday Chong High, Sab Chong High, a Hong Mangpur Han, a Ping Hui Chong, he imitating is sort of compromise. Anaju expert high and Shildan Lakin and Shildan Angin, a language, a cultural heritage now. A heritage, it does not disappear from us. A ping hui, a chong sheet, masaka. Alone the hint, and cut chong down he exposure alone in la com, and cut here. To him, for example, Symposium high down go home to March on his home country loka, and cut bongram from missing la com. Chichun in cut hika experience, March on. And know that I toka he subjonga Eva Chong from here. I would like to see it as a compass. Oh, here in Dinam Marchonga and talk subjonga navigator, subjonga and talk Marchonga navigator here. Just he compass a navigator here. Imitating Chong so 8 Mangaron for 1 day Hima. Just a Nazir and a Himboka. university settings kan in khat hi achul lein sa tong ka in khat zirti lei lo ni lei khan mar tong khom hei kham kloma khalei khan imitating bilingual subtraction hi ke kata ding chun a strong aim ema isin la khom tu la khin hi kam year 9 ko khin ka en seo chun ka compass chun nang ni hai ni a he because of that in khat HSC high kom kalong asan chu apart from university setting in our platform apart from him to in la kom opportunity mi pe lei hin chu in khat hi bilingual in he presentation ko hung pe ning kom ka hung in justification na ang in mi kom pe ning ka hung request. Vaisula in khat topic pe ka ko angin I discuss ding to in khat heritage and identity of the Hmars through socio-cultural discourse. Mar high heritage the identity through socio-cultural discourse a chan hin heritage to imana identity to imana ti hi masala ken defining la. I feel this is important because in khat hitaka ai nu le pa hai ai pi le pu hai chun in lo shi vong thei da ana chu thang thar hai hin ai shi thinga koi mo ka ti le hi ka si ana UNESCO chun in heritage hi definition lo pi ka apek dan chun chu our legacy from the past what we live with today and what we pass on to future generations mi pu hai ka lo dai tu ngai ta imana a legacy from the past it could be our oral traditions more in khat tu da keynote speaker kham khala hung in khat highlights upui kham khan atok khala hung highlight boka it could be our origin stories it could be our migrations a settlement high community it could be our dresses it could be our language more dances festivals in high popo hi pass a legacy kalonia and then how we pass on to the future generations high khan hi legacy here a la sun song payam ti kom kha in khat a ngai tu ding sin la chun heritage a defining hint khat dresses chun hi material objects han so gan it can be say tangible and intangible so tangible chu hi puta ai va them thei ai hi ka pun ba hi ai dam hi in khat tangible heritage ana tree na be mo chun in khat hi monuments ti hai chun intangible heritage it hint the physical manifestations umlo so it could be our oral traditions and non a language high more chun khat hi puning tina mai khonga trying tina mai sunga ti hai from the a intangible heritage in khat changsa thenia but then at the same time UNESCO also emphasized the importance of safeguarding and preserving heritage preserving here UNESCO hinamai koi mo ema inglei na mai ti chunchu for its cultural significance for its historical significance social significance chun im ate social significance cultural significance le historical significance aneya ai ti chun because these are important components to recognize our source of identity our source of pride and belonging for communities around the world chun heritage and ren in khat hi identity le hin it's closely related it's inextricable thing next one. But if we look into the term heritage, cultural heritage, recent decades hint, it has changed. Right now, heritage to monuments, objects, it includes the traditions. Traditions which we inherit from our ancestors. In Toka, inherit high. A oral traditions. For example, Tuta tradition, Dangdang for Sinlung tradition, San tradition, performing arts, he dances, lam high, music, more. Chubaka, social practice in wedding, marriage, divorce, and all the festivals, rituals, chubaka, festive events, sikpuiru a celebrate haidam. Chubaka, knowledge and practices concerning nature and the universe, or the knowledge and the skills to produce traditional craft. In Haipo here, heritage sumahin in form Satania. So Vaisuna Choka in may explore Lingwa Itichunchuchu, Marhai a cultural heritage he Atam Te Amtakin he explored to make up, but because of time constraint in a heritage Asau and it's very diverse. Chulation arraying in PPT from him to Hmar Sociocultural Sate but that's okay. Kaka any chong tarhaitin a palap in next slide please. So identity here anthropology just anthropology the sociocultural anthropology expertise anthropology sociocultural anthropology, biological anthropology, linguistic anthropology, prehistory anthropology take a specialization into biological anthropology research I try to look into the biological aspects of the Hmars of Manipur, and health aspect, particularly BPN Shanghai, obesity high study he sociocultural aspects he hit to expertise in Northern Marani Nazara Khan, research a colleague Khan, any with him, Lang High Lautima, Chuchu, High Consul, Hitakin, slide in showing as we go on. So, identity is a key term in anthropology, but then it's also a contested one. Essentially, because it deals a question of who we are in relation to others. Point it relates on the one hand categories of the individual or sameness with oneself. A first point a second point from him relate how do we categorize ourselves as a Hmar based on our shared traditions, based on our shared culture? Chubaka identity in defining him, it can also be defined as the collective distinction of otherness. Kini to Hmar ni mo anachu in Kati Bihari kanino. Kini to Hmar ni kom kanino. Di hai kom he a identity in defined he na anya. Next slide. History I know and society, culture, and individuals. We use previous slide, please. We use heritage to convey our essence, and heritage, discussing tangible and intangible heritage. These serve channels for the expressions of embodiment of identity. A heritage, any identity, Hmar identity, a claim high. Next. So heritage it links to the past. A past high alinka, chubaka, it shapes our identity and also it fosters our belonging. Chulechun heritage is very, very important for us to assert our identity and community, individual level of omniscience, more society level, community level of omniscience, it plays a central role. To Hmar heritage and identity. To heritage, adam na uma, tangible uma, intangible uma. Intangible heritage intangible heritage of the Hmars and what defines our identity. A oral traditions and expressions. A oral traditions, A expressions. Aitan lading in here, Ukui Komkan Lotion, a keynote speaker Komkan Anatu, a ring in Keynote in La. Origins of the Hmars. Lake Woodamulan Komzikina Umta, Jun Voisunang Kom High Kom, atam lem in a origin to a street karing nisin lakom here different authors in variation dang uma. So several theories have been put forward regarding the origins of the Hmars. He kato kading hin pulal dena lekhabo in search of identity the Hmars of Manipur ti kha lekhabo khant I origin here pathumin amigung chebe ka tradition pathumin a first tradition he Jewish tradition adya he tradition tahin it links the Hmars to the Israelites. A second tradition he Sinlung tradition tana Sinlung tradition hin Marhai Sinlunga in Thok Ehung in Channa Amishil Peka. Jun Shan tradition he the Hmar settles in Shan after Sinlung. Jun each tradition he and in La. So first traditions Pudena Hungshil Angkhan Jewish tradition. According to this tradition, the origins of the Hmars, this could be linked to the Israelites. Asan to make it into Hitaka a folk tale here in Lumtunin Team Payahe and in La Hitaka it talks about our Jewish traditions, it talks about supporting the Jewish traditions theory. Tubaka, Sikuikut Winter Festival, one of the oldest festivals of the Hmars, any Tadington occasions important in Emania, Tubaka. It's also a sacred one. Hitaka hin sikui kun mangpat le hin sikui la lapui he a saklaka. And then a translation he and junju dinan shila sikui in thong kan urlaya sangtui pui o senma shili kan in kan karelona kaleido o suna sum zana meilon in vak e antur asa tu arul or here, English translation coming here and junju it sort of reflects in here Israel high ayutan ko kan subdinga how in Red Sea high and cross na high from high indicator. So he in line talking we can't say that it's a ani 80 but then it sort of supports the Jewish tradition. Next. Tradition A tradition here, oral tradition here, we can see it in the form of tangible heritage also. Tangible heritage here, Sukui Lung Hai, Mizoram Hai, Assam Hai, Manipur Hai, Mudinga Uma. He Sikui Kut and when we celebrate this Sikui Kut, we also put this sacred stone slabs more. So because of this tangible, intangible heritage evidence he theory he support in any parmitim hydrogen loshila and then to Thornton two come here any come he sikui high India ram dang le India ram po high come a pama. A next tradition she Sinlung tradition ania. Two in Sinlung tradition she direct reference or indirect reference to he Misin Halcom many at times Marhai origin we tend to relate it to the Sinlung, Sin to seal or close, Lung to stone, Dilana. And then he second tradition, Sinlung traditions he a oral traditions high here in Mudinga Uma. And this has been passed down from generation to generation. Our traditions not to just a minute. So Sinlung traditions, Inglainams Marhai Sinlung ay suksana ay teaching because Chinese immigrants and political pressures drove them away from the south. Ingtika ay departure manati kacho ay sheet noa, but then there are traces in our oral traditions, in our tangible heritage that we origin from Sinlung and then Sinlung ay Khoma ay suganiti. And then Sinlunga in Tokhint, next non-settlement to Shan tradition anya. Shan he Marhai next settlement area na, and then he AZ to Hainan notion him. It could be in China, and then it could also be in Burma. Chichun San tradition, he theory, he tradition in support Ding Chun. a folk song high from hina uma. Kachint my ancient soil, the soil of my grandfathers. So this folk song also suggested that after leaving Sinlung is Suksankant, we followed the Yulung River and then we settled in Yunlung Shan for some centuries. Chuchuzo in Parhai in Sinlua in Tokand, Himalayas, and through Shana in a migrate to come in a folk songs high hint allowing entera. Tubaga Shan traditions apoymo Amy Tim Highland Lozik Danchancho. During our stay in Shan, many of the great festivals Him Hai Hit Shan State come hint in Shan civilization in ain relate here. For example, Kung Lom, Spring Festival, Lung La, Autumn Festival, Jun Sesun, solemn celebration, Him Hai Popo Hit Shan civilization play ain connect here. Jun Sana Marhain hint in a successful Emma, a successful ani in enter na dingin he verse come here a entire san ku kang fu put ling teng ido tung lu bakin salvi so na katin the English translation to him no shit to so he and talking me shit there many of our festivals Chuchubaka in Kadesana a successful ZT a folk song, folk tradition dying to come in and treat Paya. Anajo, Sinduwe Suksan, Aman can shan from Kahun Suksan a true loka, a century mana agent, in fact, this could be because of famine, more charm, flat laden. So since the famine ka severe Dalulay hunt, we move towards the north and northwest in search of food, finding to find a more productive land. So his son had marhayan famine elo to ani the evidence to a folk song sa ina umnoka. And it's Shana in Tokind in Kadhi, famine to Lekan, a Sugatul Lekan. After traveling for many days and months in great hardship, because of starvation, they finally entered the unoccupied fertile lands of the Kolhai, Kakanshana in Tokan, Kol Valley of Burma, to in Myanmar, Etiakan, Ehung migrates Noka. And then, Hitakahind, we established our settlement in the area of Kabo and Chinwin Valley of Burma. Jujun LA Songate and Anoshil the Ankant, called Pai Kapat a arrive nung hind, in that we make our habitation in this Kabo Valley of Burma. And it appears that many of the Hmar clans and the institution of chieftainship evolved during the settlement in Kabo Valley. And then Kabo Valley ay hung settled, migrated, settled. Nung hind in that Hmar clans down the high committee in that ay hung evolved in Anlanga. And then he very in that important landmark event during in that Kabo Valley in that ay umlay hind in that Rungpui Lal Songpang ti Pambizig lang ina uma a history hind. And then he rang Pui hin chief rang Pathum he electa he la afira la halehe and kanjuju South Sima Lersi Mara Zingpo Komalaya Lupui Chichun Lupui hint he planted a banyan tree more Lenbung Akuna Chichun Lo Thang Pulrangin Plan Ile the hornbill feeds on its fruits Chichun Hitakai Lai hint he lahin im a narrator I teaching Chichun. It narrates that banyan tree pakap kunina uma, and then he tree trunk banyan tree he March 1952 and kana survivor, but then hurricane umlay kan 1952 March kan he And then another banyan tree, Chutakabokchun, it has risen and it takes place. And then this is a testament of the Hmar settlement in Kolpai. Chuchun Ainin Foktela Iloshit in Lar Lindo Hai Unau, more Lindo de Sangpa Tuisil Hai in Kati Kampata and Aniti, I mean, a historian cited in Lausu. But then, because of the pressure from neighboring kingdoms, Marhaihi, we have to leave the Kolpai. Then we traverse the Tanfang mountain range, and then we enter the present-day Champai around 1102 or 1200 AD. At the same time, some of the Hmars splintered off Mizoram Lutmahin, and then they continue their movement, and ultimately they reach the Bay of Bengal. So Kolpai a habitation. It lasts for about 200 years, and according to Mizo historians, a exodus from Kolpai, Kampal, Burma to Lusai Hills through Chin Hills, because of severe famine, and it could also be because of the chief Thar Ahum like in Namshila. Another reason to do in Hunchalem Zong Enum Lea Isu Komilam Shilboka. Exact time, date of departure, Hichu unrecords no, Nisin Lakom, historian Haihin and Hunsu Danton to Christian era in Janva in Toka, migrating in Namshila. And then he hit a kind of hint in Kolpara in Tokin, large scale migrations of the Hmars and the other all Kuki tribes, 99 AD into the present-day India and Northeast India and in Khobung. Okay. After Shan, Bar tribes, we continue our journey and reach Dimpai, Kahazawakan. Dimpai had one group here called Pai Kaboveli Unmigrator, another Hai, Vangay and Batoti community. Kaniboka. Chichun, the Bar tribes, Vangaya, Tunghai, they established their own village on the Vangay Hills, which range from the banks of Tuiru, Barak River, and by around 632, two prominent sorcerers emerged. Ashit Kaseng Angkan, Lalnuneng of Kasung and Vanthangpui of Sumtuk. Oh. Next, continue. And he had Champai Valley civilizations there, Runglemaisu civilizations TV in Kati, Masters Katolai, PhD Katolai from in literature in Kaloti Wainoa. Nisin la from Tulai and la ACCI it would say that no, Bukay published, unquite state of him in Kati, he citing Oma, Kalekan Voisun, he a Symposium of complaints, Khobung highlights Numa. So, two important civilizations of the Hmars could also flourish around 110 AD, Bakatutu Champai Valley civilizations and Adanghi and Runglemaisu civilizations, Miyin and Zika. Champai Valley civilizations here, Rengpui, Chongpang, the Ind, Ahung Din Anya, a capital to Vanlai Pai, which was later shifted to Rafo. And Amahint, an empire, he 6 countries are in a divider, and he appointed 6 ranks to rule over them. And then this was a period, Hilayin Champai Valley civilization, Hilayin villages high from here, our high villages high in established in Tiazi Kaniboka, and a village high here and Juntuchu, it's a clan based, more name based on the clan name of the Hmars, the village he established in NMC company. Tools and combination to engine to in fact we still have this villages. Previous slide next slide so high so Bolte, Betu, Bite, Chonsim, Darlong, Darwon, the high a clans Hmar in Toka village a established during the Champai civilizations. They are in Zik, in Numjun to unquite state of a low teens in law. And then, besides this, tuta hi hai ba ko kom hin next slide a kan in khat mar hai in a down village come here a low established a clans min care ni low come in. And it was during this Champai civilizations that a customary practice high come here a low established me in original mokani. Juna civilization danka rung levaisu civilizations tihianya rung levaisu civilization he last known common settlement of all the Hmar tribes ni azikani boka. This is one of the most culturally and spiritually significant place for the Hmars. Essentially, a folklore assumption here, it revolves around Rung Levai Su. In fact, Namdang Hai comment, in fact, Rung Levai Su here. Adang Dang in Elo Shila, so Ke Hai Chun, Rung Levai Su, and Pia, I Mol Hai Chun, Rung Levai Su here, outsiders, poor Hai and invader. And then these people came with the artillery ridings, elephant, Tipamin and Loshid Boka. His civilization one of the important folklores and recognizable pieces of traditional soul, Saipui Ku, Tipom he civilization Jain Toka Allo Chandi Arjunani. Hitahain Tokin, we are dispersed to different directions. Achen towards the hillocks in Imphal Valley, Achen Samdil, Achen Duitapai, some others on the eastern frontiers of Dakram, others in Kolasip, Aizold, Krimsar, behind. One of the things Khobung mentioned, Tuta, he PowerPoint, eight historians, they are with him, Haya, and Ziva, La Comania. Kalekan mi pui kita kau hai kom a history, a origin history, free senkariwa. Kalekan andik no dam inconsistency dam alo umali junjuju kaka inkan a malak na dima ko request mali bakrosen. And later po na nga kalau po dan ang Margaret in alo published mo a origin of Hmar di ka. So in fact, he at any in fact most of the time researching for life from him a team rolled up to pulal din the knowledge profounding Songate Shiro Kum Street Bapuji Haidan Zikage Lotima and as he the low team sa knowledge hunt in fact he a origin from in fact in a different perspective Zika humanity like hunt in fact so I think they Garlaneta. In fact, good time constraint in agent to me, his kit pay the PowerPoint in between high quality in fact, okay. So, according to, in fact, Margaret in Allo, in fact, published the article hints, migration, different wave of migration in Allo Zika, migration, first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, sixth wave. So, first wave of migration to him. Any Khobung, Zote, Bite, Helte, Darwon, Lady, Lung Trao, the High and Transa, Chuchun, the Hmars, Bite, strongholds, any old Kukiti she they don't know British foreigners high-end, and then at these times the Hmars were known as Kotang or Westerners. Chuchun, this Kotang High, we first entered the present Mizoram through Chinwid Hills, and another group entered Manipur through Mizoram. And Hmar, they settled in Champai and in different parts of Mizoram, and then they also make their different villages in different places of present Mizoram. And then Nakita, previous Kaitailo for the Angkan, more Elo and Muda Angkan, examples of the existence of Hmar villages are the Zote, Khobung, Biate, Paileng, Teidim, Monteng, Hingadiania. Second and third batch here, the second Mizoram Champaya Ailu Zokan, there was a strong silo emergence. Then silo emergence Mizoram Ahum Lakant. Many of the Hmar people we are forced to leave Mizoram and migrate further west and north in waves. And Hmar Mizo historians they suggested that they left Mizoram around 15th century AD. And they continued their nomadic life until they reached the Chittagong Hills and the Arakan Hills, where they finally settled down. The second batch of Hmar, he settled in Mizoram and the Lusei Hills. Then they migrated to Manipur, where they established 3 villages successfully. Kinghai Tri Sing Ole Tangting. And from Tangting, they migrated to Sursang in the present Tamenglong district of Manipur. Soon a third batch, they left Lusai Hills in a smaller stream, and after crossing the Barak River, they followed the Vangai range and settled in about a dozen villages in the western part of Manipur to the Tamenglong district again. Soon a fourth batch Haihi are the Hmars who speaks common language. More common language Haihi 4 batch in the Hmar Greatin. They also left the Lusai Hills in the early part of the 18th century, and they enter Kachar and North Kachar Hills of Assam. Anni migration, anni settlement. Alexander Mackenzie from his Along Recorder, a book, History of the Relations of Government with the Hill Tribes of North Kachar, Eastern Frontier of Bengal. Cookies enter Kachar in the year 1748, and he also mentioned that some 600 old cookies were in Langting, Maibang area in the year 1859, with some old cookies having already entered around 1770. So any marhai is all cookie who have cultural historians have classified Hanya. And if we look at the report of J.W. Edgar, a civil officer with the Kachar columns of the Lushai expeditions, the name Kuki has been given to the tribe by the Bengalis and is not recognized by the hillmen themselves. So Kuki any in identifying Bengali Hayin and Ming. And I have never found any trace of a common name for the tribe among them, although they seem to consider different families as belonging to a single group, which is certainly coexistence with what we call the Kuki tribe. And this tribe is again subdivided by the Kacharis and the Bengalis of the district into Old and New Kuki, with reference to the time at which the people of the district first came in contact with each family of the hillman. So, he takes time talking, what can we tell? We also are considered to be one of the ones who enters Assam first. It mentions that the first group of Hmar entered Kachar plains in 1609. Subsequent groups were known to have entered Assam in 1680, 1864, and 1851. And they were known to have occupied Silchar area first, but being hillmen, they moved to the distant foothills of the Boreal ranges. From this area, some groups entered into North Kachar Hills, and the earliest known migration into Assam was 1748. He takes Hichu, Margaret Azigle, government of Assam in Alauzi. A fifth batch hit larger stream in Almigrata, and they came down from Kachar, from Lusai Hills, and they settled on the hills and foothills, and here they established many villages. And John Shakespeare, a book, the Lushai Kuki clans, the old Kukis, they are in Ziglang in Uma, and these old Kukis are in Tutuman in Punta, between Aini, Hmar, Biate, Kauchal, and other cognate clans known as Kotang. And the sixth batch of the Hmars also headed westward, passing through the Kachar plains, where they reached Tripura or Rangram, where they established their permanent settlement. And here, a small group of the Treek family left the Lusai Hills in the 18th century, moving northwest and settling among the Simte tribe in the Thanlon area of Manipur. And then in Khathi, different waves of migrations, Margaret Lekabwa, and currently, we Hmars, Marhaihi, we are settled in various states of India, including Delhi, Manipur, Assam, Mizoram, Manipur, and Tripura. Next. So far in Marhaihi, we might not have any written historical records of the past, apart from the book that is written by our historians, but a history, a tradition, we can ascertain from our oral traditions, we can ascertain from our folk songs. Folk songs nakita ilaw hinka angkant, Shinlong, origin nisin, Jewish origin nisin, Shan origin nisin. So written records na ilo inla from a folk song high, a oral traditions high, the apoy mo emema, because this help us understand our origin. We are still confused, a concrete no, but then one of the evidence of our origin, this could be the folk songs and traditions. And based on the folk songs in the traditions I'm talking, we can also tell that we have lived in different places before leaving Sindhu, before we reached the present habitat in Northeast India. To get a bit of the histories on the Hmars, who are the Hmars? From earlier, many colonial writers, they clubbed the Hmars under Kuki. It creates a lot of confusion about the real identity of the Hmars. And the reference stems from the fact that Hmar, we might be sharing the same origin with the race of the Kukis, right? And the Kuki migration to the north into, say, Manipur as a result of them being driven out of Mizoram by the Lushe also applies to the Hmars. The Khalekhand, a origin, the allowing Anglekhand, we were classified as all Kuki, the term Kukis was first used by the Bengalis and Assamese and later adopted by the British to identify the hill tribes other than the Nagas. Naga nilaw hay po katutu Kuki tihan anmilaw classifier. So in terms of the period of migration into India, later on Kuki was divided into Old Kuki and New Kuki. Shakespeare hint in her Marhahi Old Kuki clan in Amilaw in Pluta. And this is interchangeably used. We use the term interchangeably. Kotang pile kosap. Kotang hai to people who live in the west, and kosap hai to people who live in the east. Chutunay ni hai to kosap and all the people who live in the east to mean the Hmars. This is according to the writings of say Shakespeare in 1912. Then later on, in Kuki and Tokhans, the Hmars were put under the Lushai and the Kuki tribes because the British and also the earlier Indian writers were confused about their identity. However, this identification of hill tribes under Kuki, this never received wide acceptance, particularly in the case of the Hmars. Kuki tia in identify, it was not widely accepted. And when the linguistic survey of India was conducted by the British Raj between 1894 and 1928 under the directions of G.A. Grierson, he formally used the term Hmar, not H-M-A-R, M-H-A-R-T, and then this term, Hmar, it became a common nomenclature and gained popularity and wider acceptance among the Hmars living in different parts of Northeast India since the dawn of the 20th century more. And accordingly, a keynote speaker, Kompanano Shila, Anatutu, he talking hints, Ujana book, Asan to Takin Ama book, he can colony and Hin Kalong. These are the different respective plans of the Hmars. The tunes, Hitakahin BT from along Uma. Hmar clans and subclans. Italics are here and subclans here. So we have Bite, Chonte, Darwont, Faishim, Frankol, Khobung, Kelte, Kinte, Kulshing, Loitao, Levi, Lungtao, Natham, Niente, Nurte, Pautu, Roite, Treat, Treat more coming down the home, Tunvang, Si, Zote. He contained 22 plans, we can also find from other writings that there are 33 plans. We can have a comparison more. Next slide. So Asian Lankans, the Hmar, we always identify themselves after their respective clan's name. Mara imina Darwon, Darwon imina Fai Heng. So we identify after our respective clan names. And if we look into our migrations and settlements, this is also based on our clan considerations. So many Hmar clans have already evolved during the Kabo, Thantlang, Kel settlements before they enter Mizoram. Skip it up. According to Liang Khaya, the Hmar came from the north to Lusai Hills before the Lusai. Lusai Hai Hmar Kama, Hmar Hai Hilo Umtali in Liang Khaya, 2002 in Alauzika. And then he says that the ruling Lusai clan in Mizoram used the term Hmar, meaning northerners, as a nickname for those who migrated and settled northward. Eventually, the term Hmar was adopted by the people as a nomenclature, and the term Hmar became popular among themselves and among other tribes to distinguish them from the other Lusai Kuki-Chin groups of the Tibeto-Burman language family. But then, this shows that the term Hmar is of a very recent origin, and we, as the Hmars, our existence is only after the Hmars settled in Mizoram. No, but then Adang Ain Sweden from Uma to the Pachunchu, different opinions. Opinion down to E made a opinion down to it can be based on our Hmar tradition, it can be based on our Hmar folklores. And then Hmar folklore the tradition to him, Hmar Haidi A or Intinam Hmar he an originator and it means it derived from tying of one's hair in a knot on the nape of the head. Local traditions kan tu Mahilan di Junju unaw pasal panin uma Humsom de tukbem som Humsom ang kati upalemana. He tied his head on the knot of his forehead. Kalehan poi hai he Humsom itia chuchun tukbesom he anaw panglem hint. He tied his head on the knot of the nape of his head, and this is these are called the Hmars. It's very contested. So we still need our, fellow students from him. This is a contested topic, and we can proceed further discussions based on this. Another thing, controversy and categorizations of the Hmar tribe under Kuki or Lusai. It has been set aside by the government of India. So now, Marhai to Kuki, Lusai, we are included as an independent entity, and we are recognized as settled tribe under the 6th schedule of the Constitution of India. So, who are the Hmars? The Hmars are one of the largest linguistic groups on earth, and till now, we belong to the Kuki-Chin Mizo ethnic group, and we inhabit the hilly territories bordering India, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. And we have occupied 2 fledged federal states, Mizoram in India and Chin state in Myanmar. So if you feel accurate, I think the purpose of our symposium is to critically evaluate what has been written about our history. It is also my request to all the audience to look into the text that has been written about the Hmars critically. The next slide later. So right now the Hmars, with a total population of approximately 10,800 speakers, India Census of India in a recorder, and mostly we inhabit the southern Manipur, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura, Nagaland, Kachar, and North Kachar. And next slide again, a population in different districts of Northeast India. Manipur Adotahin, Assam, Chun Mizoram, Chun Meghalaya, Chun Tripura. So, so one of the heritage of the Hmars is our intangible heritage. Intangible heritage to oral traditions, folk songs. Through our folk songs, through our oral traditions, we are able to identify who the Hmars are. Common origins, shared ancestors, shared history. Apart from this, another very, very important heritage of the Hmars is language. Language is a heritage. If you look into many of the Hmars, anyways, Hmar belongs to the Tibeto-Burman family of languages. Jitun any Hmar in identifier Hmar hai to Hmar kangi asan to Hmar tongkan lay. We have our own language, and it's very closely affiliated to the. It has a close affinity with the Lushais, and it also resembles the Paites and the Kukis. And linguistically, there are two large groups in the Hmar tribe: Khobung group and Kosak group. Although different clan dialects were spoken by the Hmar, they adopted the Kosak dialect. And then, we also have Hmar Chonghe, common language on the clans, and own variations dialect, for example, Sheep Chonghe. And Hmar Hai Hind, script, we don't have our own script. We use the Roman script, which was introduced to us by the Christian missionary during the turn of the 20th century. Prior to this, many of the literatures available in Hmar, this used to be written by British administrators and ethnographers. There's a lot of inconsistencies, but here are the 25 alphabets. R, O, B, A, T, H. Sheet sengam. Vaisuna hu hai. Tutu mashilawai Sheet notes na koi chak no sheet notes. There's a treat waiting for you. So he come the sheet tumding nisin la Hmar 25 alphabets. So the Hmars, this was reduced to writing by adopting and modifying the Roman script. Language dialect language it's a means of communication. Script language and we use it's a vehicle of communication. Script we should take pride in our language. So the introduction to Roman script led to the production and development of literary work in the language, and the state government of Manipur, Assam, they have recognized Hmar as the modern Indian language, and this was introduced as a medium of instruction up to the upper primary level in Manipur and Assam, and it also recognized it for study at the degree levels as language paper both in Manipur and Assam. Maramayan lap ming zami But apart from large number of literary works, there are also daily newspapers, religious and secular magazines, radio programs, and new channels in Hmar, all of which contribute to the promotion of Hmar language. So Delhi here. This is also one part of Hmar literature where we use Hmar alphabet for easy. So the Hmar people, they continue to preserve and maintain their language despite their close contact with other linguistic groups. But in spite of that, we continue to preserve and also maintain our language. And then next up, another important, so language is a heritage, it's also a very important identity for us. And next to a folktales, legends, myths. Maybe in the next symposium we'll try to explore it. One of the important legends and myths which is a surah. So this could be surah, it can be both tangible and intangible heritage. More tangible, we can see this surah, surah grinder, a tangible heritage. And yeah, intangible heritage too, surah, a story, Subaka, our other heritage, in performing arts, dance and music. So, prominent part of Hmar festivals is dancing. Ceremonies, occasion, and then I think we should promote that also. And then Hmar dance, it can be categorized into functional expressions of joy on the harvest of good crop. It can be a success of head hunting expedition, honoring the best hunter. Sometimes it's also to words of grief on the death of an important person or chief. And then a dance is a whole part of our social process. So video I play tangko vai laklam. Some of the different dances of the Hmars too. Durte lam, Khul lam, Lam lam, Chon lam, Pepit lam, Rao lam, Dar lam, Chinna lam, and then Hi lam, Hai Khobung. It all has its significance. Durte lam too, Tuna ma performa ay tichunchu, Chil na pang hai an performa. They encircle the song leader and the drummer. Khul lam hin chuchu, we practice this dance when we welcome distinguished guests. Lam while entering the dancing ground. Chon lam is the dance of celebration. Good harvest this is a dance led by the warriors after they successful raid in a war, or when they have a successful hunt. Dar lam this is a dance. Dar lam become a performer wealthy person, important person high, and society in last respect a in Dar lam. A performer. Chinna lam parting dance and he dances high in dancing ground and he next time I think I explored in English. Apart from performing arts, dance and music, social practices come here. A very important heritage in order to define our identity and our social practices such as marriage, more in name. So marriage among the Hmars, we are not restricted to any particular clan. But like we are not restricted to any particular clan, tribe or community, and clan seat in a marriage a regulate law, and then we can select any of our mates from any clan, including his own. So Darwon in the more by Hengle in that here. Give me example. Darwon's work on rule the fight and in the high command Uma. Children clan in the all clan of community marriage in a restrict law. Widow remarriage from the uncommon, and a Hmar can marry anyone within the same lineage group or outside the clan or a tribe. Anachucho, Tin Laya preferred marriage to cross cousin marriage, where choice of match was a matter of strict paternal control. There are also some instances where marriage is initiated by the boys or girls themselves, And this type of marriage is called Athin Samsui. Marriage ay negotiate nanchu palai he pasal in high side hin and center, and they will have a lengthy and formal negotiations followed by the decision of the bride price. And hitakahin the sign and seals of intended marriage. This is in the form of pundam and thirdam, which is brought by the palai and placed at the girl's house. And the bride price is paid by the groom's parents and kinsmen. And the bride price differ from clan to clan. And this bride price, commercial transactions and it not. The bond of matrimony was extremely loose, and a boy seeking divorce should simply give sekhat, amounting rupees 40, which is also called makman, to the girl's parents. Next. Chubaka, other social practices high to family and kinship more. Religions and beliefs. Chubaka, village administration, inheritance, festivals and celebrations. In social practices, we also have traditional knowledge and practices like our culinary traditions and receipts. More. Dress and ornaments of one of our important heritage is our dress and ornaments. So most of our dresses are mostly hand woven, and kita pictured in here. This is one of the Hmar traditional attire. Punt, Hmar punt. Then the ornaments are in Shival Hai Uma Chuchund, Pundang, Wong Tong, the Hai. Next up, another very important community center. Another very important heritage of the Hmars is the Zolbuk. Zolbuk here is practicing on teacher Kashit Noah. This Zolbuk community center, this is a very, very important heritage of the Hmars, because the origins, if you look into the origins of this traditional institution of Zolbuk, it is assumed that it came into being after the migration of the Hmars from Burma. Hmar village in Zolbuk is moving Uma. Tulay in Hmar village in Zolbuk moving Uma. But then it's very important. Traditionally, Zolbuk has many functions and purposes. All the young men of the village above the age of 15, they slept in the Zolbuk till the time they got married. And Zolbuk are important in this spirit of Tomgaina, developing the spirit of Tomgaina. This is considered to develop from Zolbuk. Zolbuk in Ima Imparta and the Tomgaina, self-sacrifice, service towards community. Sometimes even at the risk of our own life, we could associate it to Zolbuk. Zolbuk we could see, I think, this Zolbuk continuity, even in terms of HSA High community centers and from Zolbuk then there are other heritage, architectural structure, monuments, memorials, sacred sites, religious relics, ancient trees, groves, caves, pottery, crafts, sculptures, paintings, calendars. In Hypopoke, any heritage that helps us identify as a Hmar. And to the presentation here, it's not an exhaustive one. It's a very, comprehensive. So maybe this will be our initiative to have a more exhaustive or comprehensive collection of our heritage so that we can have a strong claim of our identity. I wanted to highlight one very important digital heritage first. So, we saw a lot of heritage, more of our high folk traditions, in terms of the tangible heritage. So right now, digital heritage digital heritage in digital heritage is digital in it will represent the tangible and intangible cultural artifacts. Photographs, videos, audio recordings, documents, more. And then here we can have a rich digital archive database. In the digital archive, digital database, so that we can preserve our cultural heritage materials for the future generations. On the PowerPoint, many a times I go back to the digital archives, maram.com, Virikli, or Instagram, Sindung Su, behind, he talk, I think, from the and visual we don't understand. And actually, in visual representation, I feel we have that connection, a mental map, it retains longer. Digital storytelling platforms that convey cultural narratives and traditions in innovative ways, digital preservation techniques, so that through this digital heritage we can foster access to our cultural heritage, both tangible and intangible, and so that through this digital heritage we can also have this engagement and also collaborations in the preservations and promotions of cultural heritage. And the platform initiative I mentioned the Angkant, but then it's but sometimes it's not possible here to continue. I feel this is an area where we can also focus on so that the preservations of our cultural heritage can be assessed digitally, even if we don't go to Manipur or Mizoram or any other places. And with that, I will end my talk and Hmar to email identity, identity it can be said through our shared heritage. A shared heritage has a oral traditions, a folk tales, a folk songs, performing arts, dance, music, a artifacts, objects, more dresses, tutuns, ornaments, a social practice, it's a form of our collective identity. And I think it's my request to a identity sutra lading chun a heritage hi a ngai poi mo chula intina me heritage sutra ding na ti chu nang ni hai go lai khan suggestions in the sen kalane.
Dr. Abigail, presentation le itusin hai popo kami mal comment informative kahit beka a cultural history di vele hai ensun hi tulay nai 1900s or late 1950s so nilowin atin lai 1100s or a civilization dangdang tu nilow mention hai trend sam hai ni hai sina dangdang hai yung mention na kami informative le educational katibek beka educational le informative katibakin kay so nilo kita kami po yung hai kami ay lumi lahat question or doubts or she lum belsana or a interest hai ahong sukhar karinga a purpose common ibo ka hi a symposium hi a interest a she lum na hai a knowledge sukbong hi chung zong niki mi puyan thokin zona da mai lo nei ani chu lo si tra in lang next session a hai interactive session nei pha question hai ko mai lan don thei ran ding na chuba ka ho tu Abigail thil shil tha kan lo si de pakhat chu digital archives kha na tu hin kum khat ang chu hong ni ta nga ta khano kum khat ni ding an tai ram buina buina khan sheet alone ni thim tam tak literature lo nei hai le khabu lo nei hai kha alowin mang khom ong ka alowin mang khom ni nge ta chung zong ngai tu na le lo en chu digitally thile lo store chun asset hei ta no ni so internet a thil hoi kha ta chun so song ta kha ni ta ding zo ni lo in hnunga hong hai ta ding posterity ta ding comment thil poimo chu ni har ni lai so circulate ding ni lo ni dang hai khom okay ni hi kan ni mar kan ni ti lo in sheet na ding comment. It's a very important tool hi digital archive or digital resources or digital library ti vel hai ne khom chung zong khom chun malak ding na mi hung encourage ling lo ma ong kan ti bek ka tha khom kan ti bek kan ni tu hin mi pui khom session here interactive lane hoi utilizing in trade me he numel the thai chung so to boka chulei chun tu hin lunch break he lam ding na refreshment break dark arts and ve tu hin 2:59 na so 3:30 hin program sun zom no ding na so okay refreshment hi anung ting ding na hi exit an token in pula backside chuchuba ka izun indam hangnu mai umjun na kieshul ta am khan hi inu mai hai chu ke ka changting first floor pasal hai chu puti left side an thokin na chu po chu ninga ta refreshment pa dingin su thaya 3:30 sharp in a program tran no dingana mi pui hai hunei bong in dik theina dingin ahun taka hung ki dingin nai sim bok talong